What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
4 Chapter 76 Draw the Sword. Nobunaga. Die. Open black lens bracket subscribe close black lens bracket. This. How is this possible? Seeing the scene in front of him, Nobunaga couldn't believe it. Ubijin was seconded. Maki's beautiful eyes widened, and she couldn't believe that everything in front of her eyes was real. A powerful enhancer Nen like Ubijin was punched for a second like this. You know, Ubijin's strength can definitely be ranked among the top 5 in the brigade. Even he was instantly killed with a single punch. How can they stop them? Maki knew that Lan Fei was very strong. After all, he defeated the landlord on the 250th floor of the Sky Arena, but she never thought that Lan Fei would be so perverted that he could kill Ubijin in seconds with one punch. With such strength, it's no wonder that they can defeat the members of the 12 earthly branches of the Hunter Association, perhaps comparable to the world's top 5 Nen. Damn it, the brat. Let's find a way to escape. Shizuku swallowed. Even when Ubijin was fully fired, she was killed by a punch. She didn't think she could receive this punch from Lan Fei. Because, no matter in terms of power or defense, Ubijin is the strongest among them. Such an enhancer Nen is instantly blocked. How could they block it? This brat is definitely comparable to the world's 5 ninjas. Nobunaga, Franklin, you need to be ready to cover the others from leaving. Ubijin is dead. We can't be wiped out by this group of little ghosts. At least one must go back alive, and bring the news back to the group leader. Shalnark was shocked to see Ubijin being instantly killed with a single punch, but quickly regained his composure. As a rare think tank in the brigade, he was usually responsible for processing and analyzing intelligence, and he conveyed his thoughts immediately. We can't delay any longer. If this continues, we may be wiped out by this little ghost group. This brat is too strong, beyond our imagination. Phaeton stared at Lan Fei firmly, feeling quite shocked in his heart. As a member of Phantom Troupe, which one is not arrogant, but now he has lost the self-confidence of the past, and everyone feels despair. Run away. I will stay and cover you. Even if I die, I will fight to the last moment. Franklin took a step forward, his eyes determined. I'll stay too, you guys go quickly. Nobunaga holds a long sword, and at this moment of crisis, his mission is to cover other members from leaving. Let's go. Franklin roared loudly, his hand slowly popped out, 10 finger joints fell off, and he used his Nen, two-handed machine gun, again. Lan Fei, kill them, don't let them escape. Hearing Franklin's roar, Kurapika's fiery red eyes burst into a terrifying murderous intent. Although he was also shocked by Lan Fei's strength, he couldn't care less about it now. Since he has the strength to crush the spiders, he won't give them a chance to escape. At the beginning, how desperate the Kuruda tribe was, how desperate the spider people are now, this is what Kurapika wants. Since we want revenge, we must let the spider members feel despair, pain, and the unwillingness and resentment of being hunted. It's now, separate and run away. If you can survive, we will see you at the base. Whoosh whoosh. In an instant, Shalnark no longer hesitated, and was the first to rush out of the canyon. Behind them, Phaeton and the others also exerted their full speed and rushed out of the canyon in different directions. Want to escape? Kurapika's figure flickered, and the chain in his hand came out, chasing after Shalnark. Da. However, Franklin didn't give him a chance, and the dense bullets rushed towards Kurapika immediately like machine guns. Damn it. Seeing this, Kurapika didn't dare to neglect, and wrapped the chain in his hand directly into a circle shape, trying to block Franklin's bullet with all his strength. Dang. The sound of the impact of the bullet and the chain was extremely ear-piercing, directly blocking Kurapika's pursuit. Although Franklin's mind bombs are powerful, Kurapika's chains were originally realized to catch spiders, and their power is also perverted. Round 0. Asking for flowers, 0. At the same time, Nobunaga made another move. He held the long sword tightly, and his body was in a half-squat position. The chi on his body expanded outwards with himself as the center, covering half of the canyon, with a maximum radius of 4 meters. Using the application technique, of Nien, to strengthen the blade, and integrating, circle, into one's eye sword drawing technique, this is Nobunaga's strongest method, and it is also Nobunaga's last madness. Like Ubijin, as the death squad of the brigade, he has long put life and death aside. If there is a day when he can exchange his life for the vitality of his companions, he will never turn back. And this day has finally arrived. Clang. In an instant, Nobunaga rushed towards Lan Fei, and when Lan Fei entered his circle, Nobunaga flashed and drew his sword towards Lan Fei. 0. However, Nobunaga's flash is half a beat slower than Lan Fei's. With Lan Fei's speed of light, and now that he has opened the dead door in the 8 Door Dunjia, with the 5-speed blessing, Nobunaga has no chance to touch Lan Fei at all. Even his most proud art of stringing gold and drawing swords. Wow, Lan Fei's figure suddenly disappeared in place, and appeared directly above Nobunaga's head in the next second. 1 foot. Lan Fei directly condescended, and blasted a powerful punch at Nobunaga below, and the void began to distort. Boom. In an instant, the power of this punch directly compressed the air, crushing Nobunaga in the form of an air cannon. Puff. Nobunaga directly coughed up blood. He was horrified to find that he was compressed by the air cannon so that he could not move, even the long sword in his hand could not be unsheathed. Two-legged. Boom. Lan Fei punched out again. The powerful chi pressed the air, fortunately in the form of an air cannon. It crushed Nobunaga again. 3 legs. 4-legged. 5-legged. Lan Fei didn't give Nobunaga a chance at all. After the 5 punches, Nobunaga's eyes widened. Blood gushed out from his nose, ears, and mouth. Even the blood he coughed up was mixed with broken internal organs. He fell down slowly, and the long sword in his hand fell to the ground, without any vitality. Chapter 76 Head. Don't avenge us. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Nobunaga. Seeing Nobunaga lying in a pool of blood, Franklin's eyes were red, and he screamed heart-piercingly. The machine guns in both hands aimed at Lan Fei even more, and the violent bullets burst towards Lan Fei like a torrential rain. Since joining Phantom Troupe, Franklin has never been so worried. He watched Ubijin fall, and now Nobunaga fell again, and the 2 companions were killed by Lan Fei in a blink of an eye. He finally tasted the despair and pain. But, when they hunted and killed the Kuruda tribe, did they ever think about the pain of others? Did they think about the pain of Kurapika? All I can say is, it worked. Lan Fei, watch out. At this time, Kurapika's voice came over. 1 foot. Seeing the densely packed 173 piercing through, Lan Fei, who opened the door of death, did not use the ability of the shiny fruit. After all, the 8 Door Dunjia with full firepower is enough, although it can only be opened for 10 minutes, but enough for Lan Fei to kill Phantom Troupe members. Boom. Lan Fei punched out again. The powerful aura continuously oppressed the space, forming an air cannon, sweeping across the densely packed bullets. Shish. When the bomb shot into the air cannon, it was instantly oppressed, as if it was frozen, unable to move forward. Joke. Shixiong can oppress space, and even distort space. At the beginning, Kaihuang used this trick to completely hang and beat Madara, making him unable to move. Although Franklin's penetrating power is strong, but under the pressure of the air cannon, Jail has come to a complete standstill. How come? Seeing the scene in front of him, Franklin's eyes widened. He finally understood why Nobunaga and Ubijin were killed by 1 punch. The difference in strength is too great. Just the wind of the fist can suppress the Nien bomb that he is most proud of, making the Nien bomb stagnate in the air, and there is no chance of falling on Lan Fei at all. Of course, even if the bullet landed on Lan Fei could still turn into elements, and couldn't cause any damage at all. This is a very incomprehensible ability. In Lan Fei's view, the only thing that can suppress his shining fruit is the imprisoning trait Nen, and it must be without Lan Fei's awareness. Like Kurapika's little finger ability, when Lan Fei is unprepared, it directly penetrates the body and binds the heart, so Lan Fei can only be slaughtered by Kurapika. 2-legged. Boom. As Lan Fei's voice fell, he punched again at a high speed. The air of the fist compressed the space, forming an air cannon, and charged towards Franklin. No. Franklin roared loudly, turned around and fled at full speed towards the outside of the canyon. It's a pity that Shixiong's power is too domineering, and the air cannon is even faster, directly impacting from behind the desperate Franklin. Puff. In an instant, a blood hole appeared on Franklin's body, the air cannon pierced through his chest directly from the back, blood gushed out, and his internal organs were shattered. At the last moment of his life, he uttered a terrible roar. Captain. Don't avenge us. As soon as the words fell, Franklin's figure slowly fell into a pool of blood, no longer alive. 7 Phantom Troupe members were dispatched, and 3 died at the hands of Lan Fei. Die well. Seeing the tragic situation in front of him, Kurapika did not have the slightest pity. After all, for him, Phantom Troupe was an extermination enemy. Call. After killing Franklin with 1 punch, Lan Fei couldn't help but took a deep breath. Although opening the gate of death in the 8 gates of Dunjia does not have any adverse side effects on one's body, this state can only last for 10 minutes. Now, I killed Ubijin, Nobunaga, and Franklin, and the time for 10 minutes is almost up. Lan Fei, are you okay? Kurapika on the side looked over, and the fiery red eyes had returned to black pupils. Fine. As soon as Lan Fei finished speaking, his whole body went limp, unable to raise any strength. This is the price of opening the full level 8 Door Dunjia. Although there is no backlash damage to the body during the process of opening the door of death, after 10 minutes, he will be paralyzed for half an hour before recovering his physical strength. This is like the 4th gear of Straw Hat Luffy. If the domineering energy is greatly consumed, it will become limp. At this time, if the other members of Phantom Troupe make a move, then Lan Fei will definitely die. Because Lan Fei couldn't muster any strength anymore, even if he wanted to activate the ability of the sparkling fruit, he couldn't activate it, and naturally he couldn't turn it into an element. This is Lan Fei's flaw, and of course, it's also a flaw in the system rewards. This is also the reason why Lan Fei seldom opens the 8 Doors Dunjia. Of course, no one knew about this defect at all, and there should not be many opponents who could make Lan Fei open the dead door. The reason why you want to open the 8 Gates Dunjia to fight against the Phantom Troupe members is because the damage of the shiny fruit is not enough to kill them. After all, Lan Fei is 1 against 6. In this battle, Lan Fei only revealed his glittering fruit ability, as well as the 8 Dunjia physical skills, and the special curse Nen, which Lan Fei has not revealed yet. The curse is his strongest reliance. Once it is activated, it means that he has met a real super expert. Just like the landlord on the 250th floor, the members of the 12 earthly branches are much stronger than the members of Phantom Troupe. Lan Fei. Seeing Lan Fei limp on the ground, Kurapika's expression changed drastically, and he quickly supported Lan Fei's body. Also said, it's okay. You guy, you know how to be brave. Kurapika gave Lan Fei a hard look. I killed 3 spider members for you, how will you repay me? Lan Fei winked at 3.8 and joked to Kurapika. Do you want me to promise you with my body? Kurapika cracked the joke too. Don't, I only like women. Lan Fei felt like he couldn't laugh or cry. I will remember this feeling. From now on, you will be my life and death brother. As long as you are in danger, no matter whether it is a mountain of swords or a sea of fire, I will rush over there as soon as possible. Kurapika stared at Lan Fei with a serious face, and said seriously. If I'm in danger, you probably won't be able to help me. Lan Fei muttered secretly in his heart. Unless, entering the Dark Continent, perhaps, Kurapika's strength can become stronger and have the opportunity to help him. Chapter 77 Chrollo's Order, Meeting Nyan Nasra for the first time. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Unfortunately, let the other 4 escape. Otherwise, they can all be wiped out. Kurapika supported Lan Fei, with unwillingness in his eyes. His hatred and resentment towards Phantom Troupe had almost lost his mind. No way, they have an advantage in numbers, and everyone's strength should not be underestimated. If I hadn't opened the 8 Door Dunjia, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to kill them for a while. Lan Fei reminded. Indeed, if there is no shining fruit, no Bamen Dunjia, and only relying on the cursed trait to be Nen, it will not be the opponent of Phantom Troupe at all. After all, there are 7 of them, and there are only 2 of them, Lan Fei and Kurapika, which is enough to crush them. They lost 3 people this time, so they should be more cautious in the future. Moreover, they will investigate your identity and your ability. Of course, they will also investigate my ability. As thieves, even if they lose 3 people, they will not let it go. They will definitely be looking for new members to take the place of those 3. Kurapika thought for a moment before speaking. Then what will you do next? Maybe O5 can't keep looking for their traces. After all, they will also invite new members to join, and you can't kill them all by yourself. Lan Fei frowned. Catch the thief first and catch the king. As long as their leader is killed, Phantom Troupe should be disbanded. Kurapika shook his head. Okay, let's go back first. What's the matter? After waiting for half an hour, I regained my strength and said it. Lan Fei nodded. Who told you to be brave? Kurapika gave Lan Fei a blank look, then put Lan Fei behind his back, and walked towards the entrance of the canyon step by step. After fighting side by side tonight, Kurapika has already regarded Lan Fei as his younger brother. After all, Lan Fei helped him kill the Phantom Troupe. This kindness is enough for him to form a bond and a brotherhood with Lan Fei. Therefore, it is normal for Big Brother to carry his younger brother. It's not to help you kill. Lan Fei leaned on Kurapika's back and whispered. After a while, a black Mercedes-Benz drove slowly out of the canyon. It was Kurapika who was driving, and Lan Fei was lying on the passenger seat. Hey, Melody. Soon, Kurapika took out his mobile phone and made a call. Now, Phantom Troupe base. Captain Chrollo stood up slowly. In front of him, there are several figures, which are Phaeton, Shizuku, Maki, and Shalnark who escaped from the canyon. Of course, there are also Hisoka, Pakunoda, Finks, Cube, and Peeling Lev who have not played the mission. Uvijin is dead. Chrollo frowned. As a brigade with 100% strength and defense, he died at the hands of a 13-year-old child. Well, he was punched by that brat in front of us. Maki gritted her teeth, thinking of the previous scene, she was still not at peace. What about Nobunaga, Franklin? Chrollo asked. Nobunaga and Franklin stayed to stop them and give us a chance to escape. Shalnark clenched his fists. This time, we underestimated the enemy. The strength of this brat is the strongest I have ever seen so far. Phaeton took a deep breath. It seems that Nobunaga and Franklin are not coming either. Remember, the 4 of you can save a life, and it was Nobunaga and Franklin who exchanged their lives for it. I have never suffered such a serious damage since the creation of Phantom Troupe. Chrollo's face became serious, and an imperceptible cold light flashed in his calm eyes. Maki, the funny kid you said you met earlier was the one who killed Uvijin and the others. Chrollo looked at Maki. Well, I didn't expect that this kid actually has a partner who has a blood feud with our Phantom Troupe. Maki nodded. Fiery red eye, Kuruda. Chrollo squeezed his chin, recalling the ethnic group that he once led to slaughter. Captain, Uvijin, Nobunaga, and Franklin must take revenge. Shizuku gritted her teeth, she couldn't restrain her emotions at this moment even though she was strong. If you want to take revenge, you must find out the abilities of that brat, as well as the abilities of that red-eyed kid. According to what you said, this brat is not only a transmuter, but also an enhancer. He also has an immortal body. No matter who encounters him, he will have a headache. Even if it's me, I'm afraid I'm not his opponent. Therefore, we must find out his weaknesses, otherwise, it's very difficult to have a chance. Chrollo said lightly. Leader, this brat defeated the owner of the 250th floor in the Sky Arena before, so his information should be registered. Maki looked at Chrollo. Well, let's split up next. Remember, if you encounter this brat, don't make a move, stay as far away as possible, and don't make any more fearless sacrifices. Also, we must find out where the auction items have been transferred. Finally, bring back Uvijin's body, and if Nobunaga, Franklin, they also, bring it back together. Chrollo ordered. Yes. Maki and others nodded. 563. I should go out for a walk too. With his hands in his pockets, Chrollo disappeared step by step from everyone's sight. Gia, tilde operator. Lan Fei, this brat, really makes people love and fear him at the same time. He was able to kill Uvajan with one punch, even Nobunaga and Franklin. His strength is beyond my imagination. Now, it's more fun. When I kill Chrollo, I'll go find you brat. Seeing that Chrollo disappeared, Hisoka licked the corners of his mouth, revealing a hideous and strange smile. Now, a shopping mall in HxH City. I've been looking for this foundation for a long time. And the lipstick, moisturizing spray and nail polish over here. This wig is so cute. Accompanied by two maids, Nyan Nosla walked around the shopping mall with a face full of excitement. In a corner of the shopping mall, Melody was sitting on a bench, and behind her stood Kurapika and Lan Fei. Is she Nyan Nosra? Lan Fei couldn't help but his eyes lit up. This face value, this figure, and this cute image are completely like the sister next door. Chapter 78 The Zoldyck Family, Zeno and Silva make a strong move. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Kurapika, you are very lucky, the daughter of the Nosra family is not bad looking. I feel that it's a pity for you to be her bodyguard. Lan Fei looked at Kurapika with a grin, and couldn't help joking. Now, half an hour has passed, and Lan Fei has already regained his strength. Moreover, Kurapika also reported the previous incident to the boss Right Nosla, and at the same time recommended Lan Fei to Right Nosla. However, Kurapika did not report Lan Fei's killing of the Yin Beast. Once the gangsters know that Lan Fei killed the Yin Beast, they will be in big trouble. After learning about Lan Fei's strength, Late Nosla did not hesitate at all, and directly asked Lan Fei to join her daughter Nyan's guard team. After all, several members of Nyan's bodyguard had already died, and for safety's sake, Letnosra had to find new bodyguards to fill the vacancy. Just in time, Kurapika introduced Lan Fei as a companion. Moreover, after learning that Lan Fei had killed 3 members of Phantom Troupe, Light Nosla praised Lan Fei even more. With such a master guarding his daughter, her daughter's safety should be guaranteed. Of course, Lan Fei killed the 3 Phantom Troupe members. Late Nosla did not report to the 10th old man, because such a master wanted to stay with his daughter and did not want to be snatched away by the 10th old man. Don't be her bodyguard. Kurapika was taken aback. You should be the son-in-law of the Nosra family. Lan Fei blinked. Come on, I'm not interested in Xiaoya buying. Besides, the reason why I joined the Nosra family guards is to find members of the Phantom Troupe, and I have no other ideas. Kurapika glared at Lan Fei. Being the son-in-law of the Nosra family does not affect your search for Phantom Troupe members. Lan Fei curled his lips and continued. If you really become the son-in-law of the Nosra family, then you can save decades of struggle. The why? Lan Fei, you are only 13 years old this year. Put all these filthy things in your mind, you are a big kid. Kurapika couldn't help but tapped Lan Fei on the head. Dirty fart. Don't you talk about love. Since you're not interested in Nyan Nosra, then I'm going to do it. Lan Fei grinned. Just you. Kurapika looked Lan Fei up and down, you little brat with no hair. But, see how I can steal the heart of Nyan Nosra. Lan Fei pouted. Beep. Suddenly, just as Kurapika was having an argument with Lan Fei, the phone in his pocket vibrated slightly. Boss. Kurapika answered the phone directly. Kurapika, you and Lan Fei come to the 18th floor of the underground auction venue. On the other end of the phone, Right Nosra's voice came. Yes. Kurapika nodded, then hung up the phone, turned to look at Lan Fei. Lan Fei, follow me to the underground auction venue, the boss is looking for you. Hey, I won't listen to you if I know it. What's so good about being a bodyguard? I'll be called around by my employer. Lan Fei sighed. Before, Lan Fei refused Kurapika's invitation. After all, I like freedom, and I am not short of money, so I don't need to surrender my status to join the bodyguard team of the Nosra family. Why, who said that they want to get close to Miss Newing? I didn't force you to join. Kurapika shrugged. Let's go. Lan Fei pouted. Underground auction venue. 18th floor. In a spacious meeting room, there are several figures sitting at the moment. Bang bang bang. At this time, there was a knock on the door. Come in. The leader, a bald man in a suit and a pair of small sunglasses, spoke slowly. This person is the direct lineal leader of the 10 old man. Soon, 2 figures walked in. One is a thin old man with silver white hair. On the front of the Taoist uniform, there are 4 big characters, career active service, printed on it. The other is a burly middle-aged man with silver white hair. These 2 are the killers of the Zoldyck family. The silver white-haired old man's name is Zeno Zoldyck, Shiya's grandfather, and a super powerful change map Nen. The silver-haired middle-aged man is named Silva Zoldyck, Shiya's father, and also a super strong conjurer Nen. The strength of the 2 should be regarded as the top level. People should be almost here. Seeing Zeno and Silva walking in, the bald man carefully counted the number of people. No, it's not here yet. Behind the bald man, a gang member in a suit spoke to remind him. Aren't the invited assassination team 8 people? The bald man frowned. Nosra seems to be bringing 2 newcomers over. Another gang member in a suit explained. Humph. That lousy guy who only uses divination to bluff people. For late Nosla, the bald man was full of disdain. After all, in just 1 year, Letnosla was not convinced that he had become the head of a gangster in a remote area to be on an equal footing with him. At this moment, Light Nosla slowly opened the door and walked into the living room. Behind him, Kurapika and Lan Fei followed. Brush. In an instant, all 8 members of the assassination group looked towards Lan Fei and Kula Zhao Chenjiao pickup. Paper. They are HxH's grandfather and his father. Lan Fei's complexion changed slightly, and his eyes fell on Zeno and Silva. As a time traveler, Lan Fei knew that the two in front of him were the top killers in the assassin world, and their strength could completely beat any member of Phantom Troupe, including the leader Chrollo. Especially Zeno, his strength should be about the same as that of President Tero, and he can completely beat the entire Phantom Troupe by himself. Of course, Lan Fei's current strength is at the same level as Zeno and Tero's presidents, so naturally he won't be afraid. However, in Lan Fei's memory, the Zoldyck family has a more terrifying existence, Maha Zoldyck. As for the extent of the horror, according to Zeno, President Tero is the only one who survived fighting Maha. Chapter 79 Chrollo Lucifer, the way you approach beautiful women is really old-fashioned. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Who is the president of Tero? The president of the Hunter Association, the strongest person in the world, the head of the world's top 5 nen, can barely survive in front of Maha Zoldyck. It is conceivable that Maha's strength is at the top even in the Dark Continent level up. The gang really spent their money. They even invited these 2 top killers. Lan Fei thought to himself. In my memory, Zeno and Silva finally fought against Phantom Troupe leader Chrollo, but it was interrupted because the 10-old man was killed by ill. If you really go all out, Chrollo might have to run away, right? Of course, it is also possible to be killed by Zeno. By the way, if I stop Illumi and save 10 old men, wouldn't the battle between Zeno, Silva, and Chrollo continue? Thinking of this, Lan Fei couldn't help but look forward to it. In this conflict between Phantom Troupe and the gangsters, I already played the role of a shit-stirring stick. The Ghost Beast was also killed, and the members of Phantom Troupe were also killed. Why not let the battle between Zeno, Silva, and Chrollo continue? Lan Fei really wants to know, will Lianlulu be killed under Zeno's full power? Just do it, Lan Fei thought to himself. This time, the manpower is finally here. Seeing Zeno and Silva taking their seats, and Lan Fei and Kurapika also standing beside Leitnosla, the leading bald man spoke slowly and glanced at the crowd. The commission is to get rid of Phantom Troupe. The auction will be held again tonight. People from Phantom Troupe may show up again tonight. Once they are found, they will be killed. Of course, you can do whatever you want, you can act alone or together. The bald man said lightly. In the team, everyone has the same goal. I think it's better for everyone to join forces. After all, the strength of the Phantom Troupe members can't even stop the Yin Beast. At this time, a man wearing a white turban spoke. Jointly, we do not need. You can do whatever you want. Don't tell us, we will do it in our own way. Silva said calmly. By the way, my name is Zeno. If you have anyone you want to kill, you can contact us. For the sake of your colleagues, I can give you a 30% discount. Zeno stood up slowly, with his hands behind his back, and his words were extremely domineering. Zeno, are you guys from the Zoldyck family? As a killer, the man with the scar on his eyelid showed an unbelievable expression. AF, the Zoldyck family. Are they HxH's family? Kurapika stared at Zeno and Silva with shock written all over his face. Kurapika, these 2 killers, grandfather, one is HxH's father. The strength is terrifying, especially this old man, he should be able to beat the entire Phantom Troupe by himself. Quote. Lan Fei reminded. What? One person can hang the whole Phantom Troupe, so scary. Kurapika was taken aback. HxH's grandfather, he is at the same level as the president of Tero, and he can definitely be ranked among the top 5 in the world. Lan Fei nodded, then glanced at the crowd. I'm with Kurapika, you can do whatever you want. The auction starts at 9 o'clock. Before that, you are not bound. However, after 9 o'clock, according to the content of the entrustment, you must appear in the auction venue building. Why? The bald man exhorted, then turned and left. Kurapika, let's go. Lan Fei took a deep look at Zeno and Silva, pulled Kurapika by the corner of his clothes, turned and left the living room. Suddenly, just as Kurapika followed Lan Fei out of the living room, the mobile phone in his pocket rang. Hey, Melody. Kurapika answered the phone. Kurapika, it's not good, Miss Nyan is missing. On the other end of the phone, there was a rush of melody. What? Hearing the melody, Kurapika's face changed drastically. Boss, it's not good, Miss Niwing disappeared in the mall. Kurapika quickly reported the news to Lane Osla. What? Damn it, what do these servants and bodyguards do for food? Would you be able to lose track of Nyan? Letnosla's face changed drastically. If Nyan was in danger, it would be a big trouble. You must know that the reason why I am able to have today's status and be highly valued by 10 old men is all due to Nyan's divination and prophecy ability. Chance of the old man's seat now. Okay. Right. Snora immediately took out his mobile phone and dialed. Kurapika, you say Nyan Nasra is missing. Lan Fei frowned, searching for memories in his mind. It should have been taken away by Chrollo, the leader of Phantom Troupe. As a time traveler, Lan Fei quickly found the memory. Kurapika, I know where Nyan Nasra is, follow me. Lan Fei's figure flickered, and he walked towards the stairs. Lan Fei remembered that the reason why Chrollo took Nyan was because of her divination ability. And Chrollo itself is a trade nen person, his, thief's ultimate intention, can steal other people's nen, and the person who was stolen will lose this nen. Since Lan Fei intends to get close to Nyan, naturally Chrollo cannot be allowed to succeed. In my memory, Chrollo brought Nyan to the VIP restaurant of the cemetery building where the auction was held. The cemetery building is the current building. Now, I am on the 18th floor, and the VIP restaurant is on the 20th floor. Lan Fei, how do you know Miss Nyan is in this building? Following Lan Fei into the elevator, Kurapika frowned and stared at Lan Fei curiously. As the saying goes, the most dangerous place is the safest place. Since you want to infiltrate the underground auction venue, you must naturally become a VIP buyer. Therefore, without this IQ, it is impossible for him to be the head of the group. Lan Fei said with a smile. Ding dong. Soon, the 20th floor arrived, and the elevator door opened slowly. The VIP restaurant on the 20th floor is only available to VIP buyers who come to the auction tonight, so the guards here are also very strict, full of gangsters with hot weapons. I heard that you seem to be very good at divination. In the VIP restaurant, two figures were sitting by the window. A 17-year-old girl with purple hair is none other than Nyan Nasra. One is a young man with stud earrings and a handsome hairstyle. This man is Chrollo, the leader of Phantom Troupe. First stalk, then run into each other, and finally cheat to get a good impression. Your way of flirting with beautiful women is really old-fashioned. Chrollo Lucifer, do you want me to write the script for you? At this time, Lan Fei's voice came slowly and fell into Chrollo's ear. In an instant, Chrollo's face changed suddenly. Chapter 80 Gon was arrested. Lan Fei's horrific killing intent open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Sister Niwing, this guy is not a good person, don't be fooled by his appearance. Lan Fei put his hands in his pockets and walked to Nyan Nasra's side step by step. As for Kurapika next to Lan Fei, when he heard Chrollo Lucifer's name from Lan Fei's mouth, his mood became unstable. His pitch-black eyes suddenly turned fiery red, which was a sign that Kurapika was about to go berserk. Chrollo Lucifer, this is the name of the leader of Phantom Troupe. Kurapika naturally understands it. After all, Phantom Troupe is his genocide enemy. If he doesn't even know the name of their leader, what is the talk of revenge? However, it was the first time for Kurapika to meet this mysterious leader, and she never expected to be such a young and handsome man. Little brother, who are you? Nyan Nasra frowned, staring at Lan Fei with her beautiful eyes. She knew Kurapika, but it was the first time for her to meet Lan Fei. Sister Neong, I'm a new member of the guard, my name is Lan Fei. Lan Fei introduced himself, and then continued, Sister Niwing, if you want to participate in the underground auction, you don't need to have too much contact with this person. Guard members, little brother, how old are you this year? You can also protect Miss Ben. Nyan Nasra's beautiful eyes widened, and she stared at Lan Fei in disbelief. What's wrong with father? Even if there is a vacancy in the guard, we can't find a little brother to fill it. He is still so young, should I protect him, or should he protect me? Sister Niwing, I'm 13 years old this year. What adults can do, I can do too. Lan Fei patted his chest. In front of Nyan Nasra, Lan Fei tried to show her innocence and childishness as much as possible, so that she might be able to win a little favor. Spider Captain, it's really easy for me to find. Miss Nyan, what Lan Fei said is right, don't be fooled by his appearance. Skawala and Dazone were killed by the companion of this person in front of you. Boom. In an instant, a terrifying murderous aura erupted from Kurapika's body, and the powerful aura made those fiery red eyes even more strange. Fiery red eyes. Lan Fei, it turns out that Uvajin, Nobunaga, and Franklin were killed by you. Chrollo slowly opened the note in his hand, raised his head calmly, and looked at Lan Fei. What? Skawala, Dazone and the others were killed by your companions. Hearing Lan Fei's words, Nyan's face changed drastically, and his gaze towards Chrollo was no longer kind, but full of anger. Sister Niwing, you are too naive and simple, how can you be friends with such an enemy? Lan Fei quickly pulled up Nyan Nasla, pulled her behind, and stared at Chrollo solemnly, I know your thoughts and your abilities. In addition to Phantom Troupe's fate, there is also the need to steal her abilities. You. Chrollo was shocked, this brat actually knew his plan. And, do you know your history? You little brat, it's really not easy. No wonder Uvajin, Nobunaga, Franklin will die at your hands. Chrollo took a deep breath, and stood up slowly. For this purpose, I just want Miss Nyan to do a divination for me. As for the grievances between us, we will settle them together after tonight. Do you think you can get out of here alive? Kurapika's eyes were full of killing intent, and the chain in his right hand was rattling. It's hard to say. Chrollo made a call slowly, then threw the phone at Lan Fei. Okay. Lan Fei was startled, not knowing what Chrollo was going to do, but when he heard Gon's voice from the other end of the phone, Lan Fei's face suddenly darkened. Your brother, now in the hands of Maki. So, you'd better not act rashly, otherwise. Chrollo said lightly. A-hole, you guys kidnapped Gon. 0. Asking for flowers. Boom. In an instant, a terrifying killing intent erupted from Lan Fei, and the terrifying aura enveloped Chrollo like a bottomless abyss. If Gon loses even one hair, I'll kill all of you. Damn it, kidnapped Gon. Phantom Troupe is really mean and can do anything. Hearing Gon's voice from the other end of the phone, Kurapika didn't dare to act rashly, even though there was a blood feud with Chrollo, but for Gon Kurapika still suppressed his killing intent to go berserk. The dead cannot be brought back to life, but Kurapika must protect the living. There was no family at all, but Kurapika didn't want to lose after finally having a partner. 0. Miss Nyan, this is my name, date of birth, and blood type. Please do a divination for me. Sensing the terrifying murderous intent on Lan Fei, Chrollo was shocked, but not too worried, because the brigade already had a handle on Lan Fei. The reason why Gon was caught was because Maki went to the Sky Arena, investigated Lan Fei's registration information, happened to see Gon's registration information, and learned from Zuchi and Wing that Gon was Lan Fei's younger brother. Gon just happened to be the breakthrough of Phantom Troupe. However, they haven't found Lan Fei's ability from Gon yet, so Chrollo doesn't dare to do anything to Lan Fei easily, and can only use Gon as a threat. For Phantom Troupe, they can do everything they can, no matter what means they can use. Humph, you killed Skawala, Dazone and the others, and I won't do divination for you. I wish I could kill you. Before, I naively thought you were a good person. After all, you brought me to the underground auction building, but I didn't expect you to be a sinister and ruthless person. Nyan gritted her teeth, she still couldn't let go of Skawala's death. That's embarrassing. Maki, you can do it now. Chrollo shrugged and ordered on the other end of the phone. Chapter 81 Prophetic Poem, The Spider's Feet Will Be Broken Again by Lan Fei. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Don't want. Hearing Chrollo's cold command voice, Lan Fei became anxious, and the original killing intent dissipated in an instant. He had no doubts about Chrollo's determination. You know, there is no one that Phantom Troupe dare not kill, and even though Chrollo looks gentle and elegant, but his heart is extremely cold-blooded. As the team leader, he also has the heart of a king. Sister Niwing, for my brother's sake, please help him with a divination. My brother is now in the hands of their Phantom Troupe. Lan Fei looked at Nyan Nosra behind him. This time, Lan Fei made a mistake and had to compromise. This is the first time he has compromised with others, and it will also be the last time. Originally, Lan Fei thought that Nobunaga was dead. According to the plot, Gon should not be kidnapped, but who knew that he would end up in the hands of 850 Phantom Troupe. For the sake of Gon, Lan Fei had to compromise, because he promised Mito Aunt that as a big brother, he would protect Gon's safety, and if anything happened to Gon, what face would he have to go back to see Mito Aunt? Your brother. Nyan Nosra frowned. Well, Sister Niwing, just treat it as my debt to you. In the future, no matter what you want to do, as long as I can do it, I will not refuse. Lan Fei nodded solemnly. Okay, I'll help him with a divination. Nyan gritted her teeth. She was a person with a pure heart, otherwise she would not be saddened by Skawala's death. Chrollo, Sister Niwing can help you divination, but, with me here, don't try to steal her ability. I don't want her to cause unnecessary trouble in the future because of you. Lan Fei said coldly. In his memory, in the Dark Continent, Chrollo mentions that the abilities he stole from Nyan Nostra have disappeared from the Thief's Book, indicating that Nyan must have died. And if Nyan died, the greatest possibility was to be assassinated by Hisoka. After all, the West Mission War is not the kind of battle Hisoka wants. With Chrollo's perfect preparation, Hisoka will only lose in the end. This kind of battle without suspense has already made Hisoka lose interest, so he should fight next time before the duel, try to erase the nen collected in Chrollo's book, let it compete with his stretchable love, only with its own stealing ability. Don't worry, this little girl's abilities are of little use to me. Chrollo shrugged, then tore off a page from his notes, and slowly placed it on the dining table. Chrollo. Lucifer. What a strange name. Nyan Nosra sat back in her seat again and carefully glanced at the writing on the white paper. Afterwards, she raised her hand, the pencil kept turning, and began to show her nen. I saw a purple aura exuding from Nyan's body, and an invisible elf attached to her right hand holding the pen, and Nyan also fell into an unconscious state. This is Nyan Nosra's trait system, Nen Angel's automatic notes. This ability can predict the next month for the divination object in the form of abstract poetry. It is presented in 4 sections, each corresponding to a week's future. To activate the ability, you need to know the name, date of birth, and blood type of the divination target, and then write the divination poem on the same piece of paper. If the target is not at the scene, you need a recent photo of the target. Ominous predictions can be avoided as long as you follow the warnings and prevent them in advance. This is a kind of nen that can predict danger, but the capable person cannot predict his own future. This is why Chrollo feels that this ability is of little use to him. This kind of nen is really miraculous, but it's a pity that those with abilities can't predict their own future, which is really a pity. Staring at the pen in Nyan's hand, which automatically wrote the prophetic poem, Lan Fei couldn't help but become curious. Does the elf attached to Nyan Nosra's right hand come from the Dark Continent like the ability of Chiya's younger brother Yaluga? Okay, it's over. Soon, Nyan stopped writing and regained his expression from the unconscious state. Thanks. Chrollo collected the white paper on the dining table with a calm face. Kurapika, you escort Sister Nyan back first. At this time, Lan Fei glanced at Kurapika beside him. But, Kurapika was not reconciled, and finally met the leader of Phantom Troupe. If he was let go like this, it would be very difficult to find him in the future. If you do anything here, Gon will die. Lan Fei's face darkened. Understood. Kurapika gritted his teeth and asked, what about you? Don't worry, if we don't make a move, someone else will. It's not easy for him to leave here. Lan Fei grinned, well, I have one more thing to do. Now that Zeno and Silva have taken over the mission of the gangster, they will naturally not let Chrollo go easily. What I have to do now is to stop Yermi, and by the way, explore the strength of Yermi. As long as the 10th old man is saved, even if Chrollo escapes here, he might be seriously injured by Zeno and Silva. Be careful yourself. Miss Nyan, I'll take you back. It's dangerous here. Kurapika took a deep look at Lan Fei before motioning for Nyan Nasra to follow him out of the cemetery building. Chrollo, please don't die in the hands of Zeno, I will settle the score with you when Gon is rescued. Lan Fei said meaningfully, then turned around and left the VIP restaurant, and rushed to the highest meeting room of the 10 old men. 2.3. Zeno. Seeing Lan Fei's leaving back, Chrollo frowned, then turned his gaze back to the language poem on the white paper. A part of the important calendar is missing, and the month that was left should be a grand condolence. Single quote. Under the music of the band in mourning, Frost Moon will be sent steadily to the sky with the melody. Single quote. A spider with 3 legs missing is still stuck in the mud, lying next to a bloody curse, Lan Fei's curse ability, and a flaming eye, Kurapika's flaming eye. Even if only half of your hands and feet remain in the end, your superiority will still stand firm. Enjoy this intermission. It's okay to find a partner in your heart. When you set off, you can go east, and you will meet the person you were waiting for every day. Chapter 82 Zeno vs. Chrollo. Lan Fei vs. Il fans open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Curse. Fiery red eyes. Looking at the content of the language poem, Chrollo frowned, and began to speculate about the content of the language poem. The fiery red eyes should be the eyes of the boy just now. This auction happens to have such a pair of eyes. Perhaps this young man is a survivor of the Kuruda tribe. Just, what does this curse mean? A spider with 3 legs broken will still sink into the mud, lying next to the blood-stained curse and fiery eyes. Could it be that this kid's ability is the curse? Also, there are still people in the brigade who will die because of him. Chrollo was a little undecided at the moment. Even if only half of your hands and feet are left in the end, your superiority is still unshakable. Enjoy this intermission, and you can find your heart's partner. Go east, and you will definitely meet the person you were waiting for. Could it be that more than half of the members of Phantom Troupe will be killed or killed? Do I have to go all the way east to find new companions? However, all the way to the east, that is the Dark Continent. Is 05 Phantom Troupe really going to go this far? The prophecy doesn't have to be true, just be prepared. If half of the members of the brigade are lost, I am afraid that no one will be convinced as the head of the brigade. Chrollo thought to himself, boss, Miss Niwing has already fallen asleep. In a 5-star hotel in Ukexan City, this is the property of the Nasra family. In the room, Kurapika stared solemnly at Nyan Nasra who was lying on the bed because of too much nen consumption. Standing beside him was Right, the boss of the Nasra family. Damn it, you dare to attack Nyan, I won't let him go. Right took out his mobile phone and dialed it. Boss, please calm down. This person didn't hurt Miss Nyan. It means that he just wants to take Ms. Nyan as a hostage so that he can enter the cemetery building in the underground auction venue. After all, even the VIP of the auction has to check his identity, he should be avoiding the search of the staff. Kurapika reminded. Damn it, what should I do if something happens to Nyan? Right clenched his fists, feeling uneasy and scared for the first time. He can have today's status, thanks to Niwanyan's divination ability. If Niwanyan is in danger, he may never have the chance to stand on an equal footing with an old man. The other side. After getting Nyan's divination language poem, Chrollo pondered it carefully before leaving the VIP restaurant. However, after leaving the VIP restaurant, Chrollo was targeted by members of the killer group hired by the gang. However, apart from Lan Fei, Kurapika, and Zeno in the killer group, everyone else is just clowns. No, in a short while, Chrollo killed 2 of them. Ha ha ha, why can't I die like this? At this moment, on the 29th floor, the top floor of the cemetery building, a member of the killer group grinned, and he was almost insane. Because, the scene in front of him was too scary, his body seemed to be nailed to the wall, his limbs had disappeared, only half of his body was left, and he still had a mouth and head that could speak. He was just like a normal person, he could breathe and talk, but he couldn't move. In front of him, 3 looming fish with only skeletons left were swimming back and forth, while Chrollo was standing by the window with the note in his hand open. The fish you see now is called secret chamber fish. It is a kind of fish that can only survive in a completely closed room. It is carnivorous, especially human meat. Since the person being eaten will not feel pain, it will not bleed, and unless the Neonyu disappears, the person who was eaten will not die. Chrollo held the remote control in his left hand and said calmly. Ha ha ha, hurry up and let me take off. I cannot stand it anymore. The killer group member showed a crazy smile. 7. As the remote control in Chrollo's hand was slowly pressed, the floor-to-ceiling windows were slowly closed, and the wandering Neonyu slowly disappeared, and the member of the killer group turned into a cloud of blood mist and died tragically in the room. Tonight's game, let's begin. Chrollo stood by the window, his hands dancing like strings. And the other members of Phantom Troupe, who had been waiting for the order, started to act. Phaeton, Shizuku, Shalnark, Cube and others started the massacre tonight. At this moment, the underground auction venue. That is, the first floor of the cemetery building. Hey, what the hell are you doing? I don't know if you have found a professional killer or something, but you have been wandering here, but you still can't find Phantom Troupe. Instead of relying on those killers, it is better to rely on ourselves. The VIPs who gathered on the first floor of the basement to participate in the underground auction were all in a mess, because Phantom Troupe started to move, the first floor of the basement also began to be attacked. Boom. Suddenly, just as everyone was clamoring, Silva, Zoldyck at the stairway directly punched the wall, and the vibration instantly made everyone on the first floor fall into silence. I saw a big pit directly sunken on the wall, and the slightest cracks spread out. My name is Zeno. 483 Zoldyck. Zeno put his hands behind his back and glanced at everyone calmly. The legendary assassins, the Zoldicks. 10 old man actually found such a monster. Everyone was taken aback. At present, a member of Phantom Troupe has sneaked into this building, and several of the killers you hired with money were killed by that person. It can kill you all, and the enemy has almost the same strength. If you understand, just stay where you are obediently. If you want to die, then you can do whatever you want. Zeno turned around slowly, and walked towards the stairs. Silva, this person's killer method is very clever, and the murderous intent is eliminated in an instant, leaving no trace. It seems that we can only use circles. Silva nodded and followed behind Zeno. Then let's start from the top of the building and gradually search towards the basement. Once we use circles, we will lose this business. It's exhausting and tiring. Zeno walked slowly up the stairs. Soon, the two came to the 29th floor, the top floor. Coincidentally, I met Chrollo face to face. On the other side, Lan Fei at this moment also had a face-to-face meeting with Year fans. The battle between the two sides is about to start. Chapter 84 Chi-Ya's great-grandfather, Maha Zoldyck open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. HxH City. In an ancient building. Here, is the place where 10 old men meet. 10 old men, the gang leaders of 10 regions in the 6 continents, chose to hold the highest meeting here because of the underground auction. Because of the divination news from Latenosla last time, he knew in advance that someone would attack the underground auction, so those precious auction items had been hidden by the person codenamed Xiao Xiao among the 10 yin beasts, and Phantom Troupe failed. Therefore, at 9 o'clock tonight, 10 old men decided to hold an underground auction again, and just in case, for the smooth holding of this underground auction, the old man invited Zoldyck family's top killer Nuo, Silva. However, the 10 old men didn't know that Chrollo, the head of Phantom Troupe, also invited the top killer of the Zoldyck family, Illumi, to assassinate 10 of them. As long as the 10 old man is dead, then Phantom Troupe is no longer a threat. Once the employer is dead, then Zeno and Silva will cancel their actions. Of course, if Chrollo is killed by Zeno and Silva, then ill fans will also cancel the action. It depends on which side has the faster assassination speed. And Lan Fei, who is a shit-stirring stick, naturally wouldn't give Year fans a chance to assassinate the old man. Because, Lan Fei really wanted to know if Zeno and Chrollo could kill each other if they went all out. Especially with Silva beside Zeno, in a 2-on-1 situation, Chrollo's chances of winning should not be high. I'm sorry, you can't take the 10 old man's life away. Outside the ancient building, Lan Fei stood on the steps, with his arms folded, staring at Yearmi with a calm face. Yearmi stood at the bottom of the steps. There were many bodyguards in suits lying beside him. They were all the guards of the 10-year-old man. However, they were all killed by Year fans. And beside Yearmi, there is still a 10-year-old figure standing. It is Yearmi's younger brother Kaluto. It's you. Ill fans stared at Lan Fei in surprise. Isn't this kid in front of him Lan Fei who took the hunter exam? At the beginning, after the 3rd hunter exam, this kid disappeared, and he didn't expect to meet him here. Should I call you Jita Rake, or Illumi? Lan Fei grinned. It seems that when you took the hunter exam, you saw through my disguise. You little brat, it's really not easy. Why, the old man invited you this time. Yearmi also crossed her arms and stared at Lan Fei calmly. Even though she knew that Lan Fei was hiding something, Yearmi was still very confident in her own strength. No, Lan Fei shook his head. Then you should think about it. Yearmi frowned, and then showed a strange smile. Although you have a very good relationship with Chi-Ya, I don't mind killing you. Boom. In an instant, a terrifying killing intent erupted from Yearmi's body, and the powerful aura overwhelmed the air around him. This aura is oppressive, use it on me. Lan Fei shrugged, not caring at all. From Lan Fei's point of view, the strength of Year fans is comparable to Hisoka's, and it's still emitters, so the threat is not big. Even with a younger brother Kaluto by his side, Lan Fei is completely fearless. In my impression, Illumi teamed up with Kaluto and Maha to assassinate the 10-year-old man, but Lan Fei has not found Maha yet. If Maha is here, Lan Fei doesn't know if he can beat Maha, because no one knows Maha's true strength, even President Netero can barely save his life against Maha. After all, Chairman Netero was the only one who survived the fight with Maha. Moreover, in Lan Fei's view, the 10-old man should not be an ordinary person, at least an N1, if Maha, Illumi, and Kaluto can join forces to assassinate. Well, since you want to stop it, I can only kill you. Hearing Lan Fei's words, Yearmi slowly put away her murderous aura and walked towards Lan Fei step by step. You are Chi-Ya's big brother, I don't want to kill you. But, that doesn't mean I won't beat you up. Ong. Seeing that Yearmi didn't know what to do, Lan Fei's figure flickered, turned into a golden light and disappeared in place. Light speed kick. Boom. In an instant, Lan Fei kicked Yearmi's figure into the air and slammed heavily on a tree in the distance, breaking the tree. The power that erupts at the speed of light is really not simple. Little ghost, congratulations, you have aroused my murderous intentions. Yearmi's voice came over, and he patted the dust off his body, and his whole body was unscathed, nothing happened. What? Lan Fei narrowed his eyes, he looked at Yearmi, a little surprised. My own speed of light kick was a beast with one kick. I didn't expect Yearmy to be fine. People in the Zoldyck family are really perverted. Lan Fei secretly thought, when encountering a pervert like Yearmy, the attack power of Shining Fruit is still a bit weak. Indeed, people who have reached the level of Illumi, like members of Phantom Troupe, like Hisoka, like Sayu in the 12 earthly branches, can completely resist the attack of the Shining Fruit. It's just elementalization and speed that make them feel puzzled. Boom. At this moment, a terrifying killing intent erupted from Yearmy's body again. This time, the aura he released was like endless darkness, and the air stagnated. It's such a murderous aura. It's worthy of being a killer. It seems that I have to be serious. No good, Lan Fei grinned. Ill fans, stop. You are no match for this brat. Suddenly, an old and deep voice slowly echoed in every inch of the void, like a spell, making people's ears roar. Lan Fei is no exception. He only felt that there seemed to be ultrasonic waves penetrating through his ears, and there was a roar of shock. I saw an old man who was thin and looked a bit like an alien walking out of the ancient building. Great-grandfather. Seeing the old man walking down the steps of the ancient building step by step with his hands behind his back, the murderous look on Yearmy's body suddenly disappeared, and the original gloomy expression also disappeared, replaced by a full of restraint. Grandfather. As this old man Maha Zoldyck. Hearing this, Lan Fei's pupils shrank involuntarily, and an unprecedented pressure enveloped his whole body. Chapter 84 Maha's terrifying strength. The speed of light kicked a lonely open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. As for Maha Zoldyck, even though Lan Fei is a time traveler, little is known about him. Because, there are very few scenes of him appearing, and no one has seen him make a move. The only Netero president who fought against him could barely survive. This means that Maha Zoldyck is stronger than President Netero. The reason Netero became the strongest in the world may be because Maha Zoldyck was born as a killer and did not want this title. Moreover, Netero's president is the Nen of the Enhancer, and the strongest move is the 100-styled Wanyan. This kind of strength can suppress Maha and Zoldyck. Obviously, Maha, Zoldyck's strength should also be that of the Enhancer. Such a powerful old man with mysterious whereabouts actually dispatched together with Illumi and Kaluto. Little devil, you are late, old man Tien is already dead. Maha Zoldyck walked in front of Illumi unhurriedly. His steps were steady and his breath was well proportioned. Even though there were signs of age on his face, his overall state did not look old at all. Okay. Lan Fei couldn't help but 270 shook his head and smiled wryly. Once this old man makes a move, why doesn't old man Tien have any living ministers? Even if the old man is a Nen, he is at most on the same level as the Yin Beast, and Maha Zoldyck can kill him instantly. After all members of Phantom Troupe can beat Yin Beasts. As the strongest existence in the killer world, Maha Zoldyck naturally has the strength to kill 10 old men in an instant. Ill fans, call. Maha Zoldyck said calmly. Okay, Grandfather Yuan. Elmi nodded obediently. In the entire Zoldyck family, the only one who can make him fearful is this great-grandfather. Suddenly, Lan Fei's figure turned into a golden light and disappeared in place. Light speed kick. In the next second, it appeared above Maha Zoldyck's head. Grandfather, be careful. Elmi's complexion changed drastically. The speed of light, you kid, is not easy. Maha Zoldyck raised his head, his drooping eyelids stretched slowly, revealing a pair of piercing eyes, staring at Lan Fei with great interest. Boom. This kick, impartial, fell on Maha Zoldyck. Okay. Lan Fei's face changed drastically, his foot seemed to be kicked on a hard rock, a pain spread faintly from the sole of the foot, and Maha Zoldyck's figure remained motionless. Lan Fei's kick was like kicking I felt lonely. It's weaker. Maha Zoldyck said cheerfully. Court death. The murderous aura on Yearmy erupted again. Ill fans, stop. This kid just wants to test my strength, he doesn't have murderous intent. It's you, who exposes your murderous intent at every turn. Maha Zoldyck glanced at Illumi with his piercing eyes. In an instant, Year felt as if he was being shocked by an electric shock, and put away his murderous aura embarrassingly, and said with an apologetic smile, Grandfather, don't look at me like that, I'm afraid. Isn't this old man too scary? Lan Fei's figure flickered, and his figure landed on the steps of the ancient building, staring at Maha Zoldyck with a serious face. I kicked at the speed of light, kicked a loneliness for the first time. You know, I am a beast with 1 foot and 1 foot, but in Maha Zoldyck's reluctance, it is useless at all. It's not that my speed of light kick is not strong enough, but that the old man Maha Zoldyck is too perverted. Lan Fei has a feeling that this old man should have cultivated Nen like the golden bell jar. Only by opening the death AFFD door in the 8 Dunjia and using Yi Kai, he should be able to break through the strongest defense of this old man. After all, this old man is an enhancer Nen, his strength is much stronger than Ubijin, and he can resist Netero's 100-style Avalokitesvara, and in the end he can defeat Netero's chairman. Of course, Lan Fei just wanted to test Maha Zoldyck's strength, not a real fight. Therefore, Maha Zoldyck didn't make a move either. Otherwise, once the two go all out, it will be a battle of the century. The other side. The battle between Zeno, Silva, and Chrollo has also entered a fierce stage. Boom. On the top floor of the entire building, there was a constant roar. After avoiding Silva's attack, Chrollo still couldn't escape Zeno's punch. It's really difficult to fight 1 against 2, and it's still very difficult to deal with Transmuter Nen. Chrollo squatted halfway, holding a dagger in his hand, staring at Wano and Silva solemnly in front of him. One Silva already made him feel the pressure. After all, Silva is the top assassin who assassinated the members of Phantom Troupe. Now, with Zeno, a super master whose strength is comparable to Silva, and even stronger than Silva, he may be accidentally killed. Was killed. Huh, the dagger is poisonous. Silva glanced at his arm, and at some point he was cut by the dagger in Chrollo's hand, and the dagger was also stained with venom. Puff. Silva slapped it hard, a stream of blood splashed out, and the venom soaked in the wound was directly wiped away by him. As the top killer of the Zoldyck family, almost all family members are immune to poison, but Silva still dare not be careless just in case. Silva, are you okay? Zeno walked towards Chrollo step by step. I'm fine. Silva nodded. Steal other people's thoughts. That should be a trait type. If you can use the stolen thoughts as you like, it will be threatening. However, on the contrary, this also means that you have a high risk of stealing abilities, otherwise you would not be able to get the corresponding ability. Silva, give me a hand. When I subdue him, you just shoot with all your strength, don't worry about me, I'm fine. Zeno was unusually calm, and slowly lowered his hands behind him. Learn. Silva nodded. Boom. At this moment, a powerful aura erupted from Chrollo, and a notebook slowly emerged in his hand. This is exactly his reading, The Thief's Secret. Chapter 85 Little Ghost, I will wait for you in the Dark Continent open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. This guy is going to use Nen. Seeing a note emerge from Chrollo's hand, the faces of Zeno and Silva suddenly became serious. Chrollo, originally a Nen of the trait system, besides his super fighting ability, his Nen is equally powerful. The Thief's Secret, this is a materialized book that can be used to steal other people's Nen, and the Nen that was stolen can no longer use that Nen. Moreover, the stolen Nen can only be sealed in the book. Once the book disappears, Nen will also disappear, which is why Chrollo must hold the book in his right hand, because only in this way can he use the stolen Nen. Clatter. Chrollo opened the notebook and found the Ling Nang Fang stolen from Wang Yin, the head of the beast. Originally, Lan Fei killed only 4 of the 10 Yin beasts, and there were only 6 left, but after Phaeton and others fled back to the base, Chrollo ordered another operation to find the whereabouts of the auction item. In the end, the other 6 Yin beasts died in the hands of Phantom Troupe members, and Owl was killed after Pakunoda used Nen to search the memory. However, before dying, Owl's ability was taken away by Chrollo. Only then did the scene in front of him appear. Chrollo raised his hand, and he grabbed a cloak directly in the palm of his hand. Owl is the manipulator Nen, mainly Nen is the magic Furoshiki, which has added a special force that can make objects shrink in the Furoshiki that he has embodied, and can wrap the enemy in, shrink, capture, and win easily. Chrollo is interested in this ability. If he can catch the enemy by surprise and then shrink it, he can easily capture it. It's just that Zeno and Silva are not the kind of reckless people. In addition to their strength, they also have superb minds. Cloak. Manipulator. This should be the Nen he stole, but I don't know what the nature of Nen is, so it's better to test it out first. Boom. In an instant, a powerful aura erupted from Zeno's body, his hands were changing, and he performed a move that he was proud of, Dragon Head Play. Protrusion. Zeno shouted loudly, a purple flying dragon condensed in his hand, the purple flying dragon opened its huge mouth, and bit Chrollo away. It seems that this old guy saw through. Chrollo frowned, and patted the cloak in his hand towards the purple flying dragon, like a wall, blocking all the attacks of the purple flying dragon. There is no chance of getting close at all. Holding the notebook in his hand, Chrollo tried to approach Zeno while blocking the attack of the purple flying dragon. But, as a top killer, Zeno didn't give him a chance to get close at all, because Zeno had guessed Chrollo's intention long ago. Wow. Chrollo waved his hand, the notebook in his hand disappeared along with the cloak. Since he couldn't get close, he had no choice but to give up the capture. Boom. Just as Chrollo was avoiding the attack of the purple flying dragon while being vigilant about Silva's actions, Zeno seized the opportunity and slammed his hands heavily. The purple flying dragon seemed to be biting its prey, and pinned Chrollo to the floor. It's now. Do it. Zeno lunged forward, directly controlled Chrollo, and then yelled at Silva. ZZZ. At the same time, Silva jumped up high, the chi in his body climbed to the strongest, and finally condensed into his hands, only to see 2 energy balls surrounded by purple electricity slowly appear in the palm of his hand. This is Silva's most proud move, Purple Lightning Ball. Rumble. In an instant, the energy ball flew out of Silva's hand, pressed down on Chrollo and Zeno, and finally exploded. The terrifying explosion sounded the entire building, and the building shook, and the entire top floor was crushed into ruins by the aftermath of the explosion. Okay. After the aftermath of the explosion disappeared, Silva couldn't help frowning as he looked at the floor that had been blasted into ruins in front of him. Boom. At this moment, a figure stood up from the ruins, it was Zeno's figure. At this moment, his Taoist robe was full of dust, and his breath was a little disordered. It's horrible. I was almost killed. The faint sound spread, and I saw Chrollo slowly stretching the wall pressing on his body, staring at Zeno with a smile. There was a faint hint of madness in his eyes, and his aura also weakened a lot. Obviously, 1 against 2, Chrollo is a bit too much. This guy is only slightly injured. Silva's face changed slightly, and an unprecedented murderous aura burst out from his body. It seems that killing you may cost a lot. Have you started getting serious? Sensing the terrifying murderous aura on Silva's body, Chrollo's heart tightened slightly. 0. Seeking flowers. Beep. Suddenly, just as Silva was about to start again, the phone in his pocket thought. Silva frowned and answered the phone directly. Hey, ill fans. Silva took a deep breath. Well, what about my client? Shouldn't be dead, right? It's very dangerous, but fortunately we caught up. Tell him for me that I have already settled the 10 old man, and let him remit the money to my account. On the other line, the voice of Illumi came. Father, Elmi is one step ahead of us, we can go now. Silva hung up the phone, turned and walked towards the elevator. As 10 old man dead. What a pity. Zeno patted the dust off his body, put his hands behind his back again, and followed Silva step by step. Old man, won't you kill me? Looking at Zeno's leaving back, Chrollo asked. The employer is dead, so we don't have to continue our mission. Zeno said lightly. Old man, in a one-on-one situation, who do you think will win? Chrollo pressed. You will die. Zeno's figure paused for a moment, then turned and walked into the elevator. The other side. Since the old man is dead, Chrollo's battle with Zeno and Silva cannot continue. Seeing Illumi take out her mobile phone and make a call, Lan Fei couldn't help but shook his head and sighed. If 10 old men don't die, Chrollo should die in the hands of Zeno and Silva. It's a pity that Lan Fei came one step too late, and old man Tien had already been killed. Moreover, even if Lan Fei arrives ahead of time, with Maha Zoldyck here, Lan Fei may not be able to stop it. As long as Lan Fei is dragged by Maha Zoldyck, ill fans can also kill 10 old men. Perhaps, Chrollo should not die. Little ghost, I heard President Tero say that you are a good seedling. In the future, perhaps following in the footsteps of Shangjian Free CSS, W. I will wait for you in the Dark Continent. Just as Lan Fei was sighing, Maha Zoldyck's voice came slowly. By the time Lan Fei regained consciousness, the figure of the old man had already disappeared. Chapter 86 Lan Fei's Divination and Prophecy Poetry Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. The Dark Continent is waiting for me. Hearing this, Lan Fei's pupils shrank suddenly. This old guy, no wonder his whereabouts are weird, and his emotional thoughts have always been in the Dark Continent. That's right, Maha Zoldyck's strength has already surpassed the scope of human beings. Even the president of Netero, who is known as the strongest in the world, can barely survive in his hands. Only the Dark Continent can bring him new challenges up. Dark Continent, there will be a day like that. Lan Fei's eyes burst out with unprecedented firmness. Whoosh. After a while, Lan Fei's figure flickered and disappeared in front of the ancient building. Half an hour later, the underground auction venue. Outside the building, a lot of gangsters gathered, all of them were vicious, holding hot, 033, weapons in their hands. Not far away, there are 5 corpses lying there, they are members of Phantom Troupe, and Chrollo's corpse is among them. Is he the leader of Phantom Troupe? Just a kid. How dare you look down on us gangsters? Hey, don't mess with their bodies, we will take pictures of them and post them on the internet. Also, send someone to extract their DNA, tooth molds, fingerprints, etc., thoroughly find out their true identities, and send their parents, brothers, relatives, lovers, all killed. Among the gangsters, a high-level leader stared at the 5 corpses in front of him, with a fierce look in his eyes. 5 corpses. Not far away, Kurapika came over, staring at Chrollo's body. The head of the Eternal Shadow Brigade just died like this. As a mortal enemy, Kurapika still hopes to kill all the members of Phantom Troupe with his own hands, but now, seeing Chrollo's body lying here, he can't help but feel a little disappointed. He even doubted whether the corpse was real. But when he went to the VIP restaurant with Lan Fei, he met Chrollo. After repeated confirmation, Kurapika got the final result, and the corpse was real. Is this the way to avenge the genocide? Kurapika was taken aback, completely lost. What is he going to do next? For a long time, he has taken Phantom Troupe as his goal, and vowed to destroy Phantom Troupe and avenge his tribe. Now that the leader of Phantom Troupe, Chrollo, is dead, it means that Phantom Troupe no longer exists. Kurapika. At this moment, Lan Fei's voice came from afar. Lan Fei. Kurapika came back to his senses in an instant. He turned and looked at Lan Fei who was walking. He couldn't help clenching his hands, showing a disappointed and unwilling expression. Chrollo is dead, but he didn't die in my hands. As this, the corpse of a member of the Phantom Troupe. Lan Fei was stunned, then stared at Chrollo's corpse. Memories flashed in his mind. Fake. These corpses are fake. Fake. Kurapika was stunned. Hope lit up again on his disappointed face. Lan Fei, are you sure? Well, it's just an illusion created by Phantom Troupe. Lan Fei nodded. With Chrollo's strength, how could he die so easily? But, what happened to these 5 corpses? Asked Kurapika. Among the Phantom Troupe, there is one who has the ability to create replicas, and these corpses are copied by him. Lan Fei explained. However, the underground auction has already started and has not been attacked. Kurapika still couldn't believe it. Those auction items are also fake, and they are also replicas made by that person. The real ones have been looted by them. Lan Fei shook his head and continued. And, old man Tien is dead. What? Hearing such a heavy news from Lan Fei, Kurapika was shocked again. Impossible. Didn't you go to prevent them from assassinating the 10th old man? Moreover, when the auction started, the 10th old man also appeared in the video transmission. The 10 old man's body has been controlled by Chi Ya's big brother Il fans. When I arrived, they were already dead. However, this may be the best ending. At least, the gang will not be in chaos. Everyone still thinks that the 10th old man is still alive. You don't need to tell Light Nosla about this, after all, the order of the gang is quite good now. Lan Fei exhorted. Then you know the people of Phantom Troupe, where are they now? Kurapika took a deep breath, and the unprecedented killing intent burst out again in his eyes. Don't worry, Gon is still in their hands, I won't let them go. Kurapika, take me to meet Sister Nyan, I want to ask her to take it for us. Lan Fei looked at Kurapika. Ask Miss Nyan for a fortune-telling. Kurapika nodded. You also believe in this kind of stuff. Her divination ability is 100% accurate. I wonder if Gon's life will be in danger once we go to the Phantom Troupe base to find them. After all, Gon is in their hands. I can't guarantee that Gon will not be killed by them when I make a move. Lan Fei took a deep breath. If it is predicted that Gon's life is in danger, then Lan Fei can only find another way to avoid this catastrophe. Once Gon has something wrong, how will he explain it to Mito Aunt? That's right, let her take it for me by the way. Kurapika nodded. By the way, since the 10th old man is dead, wouldn't Ms. Neong be able to divination it? Even if I don't say it, Light Nosla will know about it in the future. That's a matter of the future, and, when the time comes, won't he have a chance to take the position of the 10th old man? This is his lifelong 1.3 pursuit. Now that the 10th old man is dead, his status should be the highest. Even if the body is controlled by ill fans are not interested in the gangsters, so naturally they will not intervene in the gang's infighting. Lan Fei shrugged. Okay, then it's up to you. Go back and find Miss Neong for divination, and rescue Gon as soon as possible. Kurapika nodded, turned and got into a black Mercedes. What will my prophetic poem be like? As a time traveler, is Nyan's divination ability effective for me? Lan Fei thought secretly, and then got into the passenger seat of the black Mercedes. Boom. Soon, there was a roar, and the black Mercedes-Benz drove slowly towards the Nosla family's manor. Chapter 87 Turning the World Around, The Existence of Souls from Other Worlds Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Just when Lan Fei went to Nyan Nosra to divination the future for him. Ukexan City, the eastern suburbs. In an abandoned building. Here, is the base of Phantom Troupe. Captain Chrollo sits on the top step. Below, Phaeton, Shalnark and others listen to Chrollo's latest order with solemn faces. Captain, you said you want to retreat. Phaeton was surprised by Chrollo's decision. Well, retreat tonight. I was injured in the battle in the cemetery building. Moreover, the auction item has also been obtained, and our goal of this operation has been achieved. Chrollo nodded, and when he thought of the poem that Nyan Nosra had divination for himself, he felt a little uneasy. According to the content of the divination poem, if they do not retreat in time, more people in the brigade will die. This is something Chrollo doesn't want to see. After all, Ubijin, Nobunaga, Franklin are all dead. The mission is over. Tonight, we will take all the treasures and leave Fakati coins. The sooner the better, Chrollo exhorted. 5, leaving tonight. Beside a dilapidated window, Hisoka turned half sideways, staring at Chrollo with a strange face, and licked the corner of his mouth from time to time. If this is the case, I should take action. Captain, what are you afraid of? Don't we avenge Ubijin, Nobunaga, Franklin? Finks frowned. Finks, this is the commander's order. Maki glanced at Finks, motioning for him to be respectful. Revenge. With that brat's strength, are you sure? What was lost has been lost. Cherish the present. I don't want to lose you again. Chrollo sighed. What's the meaning? Don't want to lose us again. Shelf Lev also frowned. What happened to the leader? After the battle with the killer of the Zoldyck family, he seemed to be a different person. Head, don't we still have this brat? Hubie looked at Gon, whose hands and feet were bound beside Maki, showing a cold murderous intent. He and that kid named Lan Fei are brothers. As long as we use this kid as a threat, we can definitely kill that kid named Lan Fei imps, avenge Ubijin and the others. Yes, if you do anything to Gon, I won't be polite. In front of the dilapidated window, Hisoka played with the poker cards in his hand. A icy light flashed through his strange eyes, and he murmured to himself, the prey I'm looking at, you are not qualified to hurt. Fort. No matter what, I have to kill that kid named Lan Fei to avenge Ubijin, Nobunaga, Franklin and the others. Shalnark gritted his teeth. Hisoka, what's your opinion? Chrollo looked up, looking towards Hisoka. I do not mind. However, if you want to retreat, remember to say hello to me. Hisoka tilted his head, and the poker cards in his hand flashed a sharp edge. I'll show you something. This is a prophetic poem I got from the daughter of Lednosla. Chrollo stood up and handed the notebook to Phaeton and the others. A prophetic poem. Captain, is it credible? Staring at a divination and prophecy poem in the notebook, Phaeton's expression changed suddenly. Her ability is to predict the future, and it is 100% effective. Chrollo glanced at everyone solemnly. An important part of the calendar will be missing, which doesn't mean. Staring at the prophetic poem in the notebook, Shalnark was not calm anymore. Well, it's Ubijin, Nobunaga, Franklin and the others. Led Nosla's daughter doesn't know about Ubijin and the others, so the prophecy must be 100% effective. You don't have to question it. Also, she also predicted the first attack on the underground auction venue, so the gangsters made preparations in advance and moved the auction items. Chrollo glanced at the crowd. Sure enough, Paknada, Shalnark, all three of us will die. Shizuku squeezed her chin. Even though she knew she was going to die, she didn't feel the slightest fluctuation in her heart. Damn it, can't it be avoided? Maki clenched his fists, feeling unwilling. Since it is predicted in advance, it can be avoided. That's why I plan to let everyone leave here tonight. Chrollo said to everyone with a solemn expression. Captain, what about this brat? Maki looked at Gon beside him. HMPH, even if it falls into your hands, I won't let you succeed. For Lan Fei, even if I die, I won't implicate him. Gon snorted coldly, and said firmly. Don't worry, kid, I'll let you and Lan Fei be buried with Uvajin and the others. Leader, even if I die, I will take a gamble. Shalnark looked at Chrollo with a determined gaze. Yes, even if I die, I will die for my companions. Shizuku gritted his teeth. Leader, let's gamble again tonight. Tomorrow, we will withdraw from Ukexen City again. Pakunoda looked at Chrollo, expecting 007 Chrollo's final decision. Forget it. Chrollo was about to speak, but was interrupted by Cube. Head, someone broke into the base. Cube reminded. At the same time, towering abandoned buildings were 100 meters away. Under the darkness of night, a figure was rushing towards Phantom Troupe's base at a lightning speed. Take a closer look, it is Gon's familiar figure, Zoldyck. www. The Nosra family, in the gorgeous manor. Nyan Nostra's room. Lan Fei carefully held a blank piece of paper, which contained Nyan Nosra's divination and prophecy poems. The spider will come back to the world with a lot of sorrow. To turn things around, the existence of souls from other worlds requires the initiation of a blood moon. Don't worry, what's yours will be taken back with your own hands. Buy time well, because time is running out, and more terrifying enemies are about to move. Your choice matters. Don't worry, even if bad luck comes to this world, it still can't shake your noble status. What you need to do. It is to subdue all the gods of death and surround them. Glory in oblivion. It's all up to you, the choice. Chapter 89 Nyan's First Kiss, Rescue Gon open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. This is my prophetic poem. Lan Fei stared at the divination content on the white paper with a face full of shock. The more he looked at it, the more incredible he felt. To turn things around, is there a soul from another world? Know that I am a soul from another world. Oh my god, this prophecy is too accurate, right? Will the spider come back to the world with a lot of sorrow? Lan Fei continued to look down. How to explain this sentence? Returning to the world with a lot of mourning. Could it be explained that after Phantom Troupe is fragmented, Chrollo will find new partners and rebuild the entire troupe? Turning the world, the existence of souls from other worlds requires the initiation of the blood moon. Don't worry, what belongs to you will be regained with your own hands. Buy time well, because time is running out, and more terrifying enemies are about to move. Your decision is very important. Don't worry, even if bad luck comes to this world, it still can't shake your incomparably noble status. All you need to do is to subdue all the gods of death to surround you. Glory and oblivion, both require your decision. Looking at his prophecy poem, Lan Fei was full of doubts. What belongs to you can be regained with your own hands. Could it be that you will lose something? To turn things around, the existence of souls from another world requires the initiation of the blood moon. What does the blood moon refer to? A more terrifying enemy is about to move. Who? The Ant King. Monsters from the Dark Continent. Can't shake your incomparably noble status. You have a hairy noble status. Isn't it just a professional hunter status? To subdue all the gods of death to surround you. All the gods of death. Is it related to your own characteristic Nen curse? Glory and oblivion. As for his prophecy poem, Lan Fei really couldn't figure it out for a while. You must know that Nyan's prophecy ability has a time limit, and that is a reason. For more than a month, she is unable to divination. Kurapika, what is your prophetic poem? Let me see. Lan Fei hurriedly snatched the blank paper from Kurapika's hand. Inside the blank paper was a passage like this: spiders will never stop, and that place will become your sleeping bed. What is lost, and what is gained is gained. If there are no stairs to climb, you must never go down, and you must never look back. Your partner will always be the dawn of your salvation. Lan Fei, I want to see yours too. Seeing Lan Fei snatching his own prophecy poem, Kurapika also snatched Lan Fei's prophecy poem and took a closer look. Kurapika, your prophetic poem is easy to interpret. Lan Fei took a closer look at Kurapika's prophecy poem. The content inside was easy to understand, and there were not many weird things. It roughly means that what Phantom Troupe did before, and what it will do in the future, it will never stop because of the lack of people. Keep fighting with spiders. Once you encounter the threat of death, you can't turn back, and you can't go on. Your partner will always be your reliable partner. Existence of otherworldly souls. An incomparably noble status. Conquer the gods of death. Lan Fei, I really can't understand your prophetic poem. Moreover, there is no Gon's shadow in the prophecy poem. Even if we forcibly break into Phantom Troupe's base to save people, nothing will happen. Kurapika reminded. Hope so. Lan Fei nodded. As for my prophecy poem, I didn't understand it myself. Sister Niwing, can you help me interpret this prophecy poem? Lan Fei slowly handed the prophecy poem in his hand to Nyan Nosra. No, I can't read the content of my divination. Also, you can't predict your own future. Nyan shook her head, turned her head and looked to the other side. By the way, the auction should start tonight, right? It's a pity, I can't go to the scene in person. By the way, doesn't it mean that Phantom Troupe has been wiped out? It should be safe outside. Lan Fei, why don't you take me to the scene? Nyan asked while playing with the doll in her arms. Hee hee, Sister Niwing, I have something to do tonight. How about tomorrow? Anyway, the underground auction will be held for several days in a row, and it happens that I also want to bid for a game. Lan Fei slowly put away his prophecy poem, and looked at Nyan Nasra with a smile. Kurapika, what about you? Nyan pouted, as if she was a little dissatisfied. After glancing at Lan Fei with her beautiful eyes, she then looked at Kurapika in front of her. Lan Fei and I have a task tonight, sorry. Kurapika shook his head with a wry smile. I knew that you just didn't want to hang out with me. Nyan complained angrily. W sister Nyan, let's pull the hook, I will definitely take you out to play tomorrow. Quote. I know a lot of interesting places. Tomorrow night, we can also go to the underground auction venue to participate in the bidding. Lan Fei blinked at Nyan Nostra. Okay, that's what you said. It's still your little brother who treats me well. Unlike my father, he knows he is busy all day long and never plays with me. Nyan Nasra clapped her hands excitedly, then stretched out her right pinky finger to Lan Fei. Lan Fei, let's pull the hook. If the hook is hanged for 100 years, it must not be changed. Lan Fei also stretched out his little finger of his right hand, playing a game of pull with Nyan Nasra. Perhaps, this is the happy life Nyan wants most. Lan Fei knows that although Nyan Nostra has endless money, he is not happy. He has been kept in his cradle by Light Nostra. He is either a servant or a bodyguard on weekdays. With due money. No, it was not easy for Lan Fei to join the guards. He was so young, he was cute, and he thought of Nyan. Nyan was very happy, and he treated Lan Fei as a younger brother. If he hadn't gone to rescue Gon tonight, Lan Fei would not have refused Nyan Nasra's request. Not to mention the underground auction venue. Even if it's Cape Tianya, Lan Fei can take Nyan to it. With Lan Fei's strength, she can be completely protected. Moreover, Nyan also has the ability to predict, and can completely avoid many impending dangers. Lan Fei, I like your brother more and more. After pulling the hook, Nyan Nasra couldn't help the excitement in her heart, and kissed Lan Fei's immature face fiercely. Sister Niwing, does this count as your first kiss? Lan Fei was startled, this feeling is really cool. Chapter 89 Chiya was arrested, Lan Fei and Kurapika broke into the Phantom Troupe base open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. First kiss. After the innocent Nyanasra heard Lan Fei's words, her face turned red in an instant, and her beautiful eyes could not help but glared at Lan Fei fiercely. You brat, at such a young age, you actually pretend to be so nasty in your mind. Things. Sister Niwing, the first kiss is not dirty, it is a very happy and beautiful thing. Lan Fei blinked. Nyan Nasra turned her head away, and her blushing face became a little darker. All along, she has a pure and innocent personality. Except for the bodyguards around her, she has never been in contact with the opposite S*X at all, and her first kiss is naturally still there. Moreover, after being reminded by Lan Fei, Nyanasra was a little shy, and her first kiss was actually given to a 13-year-old kid. Okay, I won't tease you anymore. Sister Niwing, we have to go out to do some errands. Be good at home, don't lose your temper. Lan Fei grinned, then turned and walked out of the room. Behind him, Kurapika followed. Kurapika, let's go. After walking out of the Nasla family's manor, Lan Fei no longer had a playful smile, but a serious face instead. Lan Fei, that's the base of Phantom Troupe, do you want to bring more people? 420 inches. Asked Kurapika. No amount of people is enough for Phantom Troupe to kill. Besides, this time is to save Gon, too many people would be inconvenient. Lan Fei shook his head, he knew Kurapika's thoughts, and those who can listen to voices like Melody would be of great help. However, the Melody is only an advantage in this aspect, and its combat effectiveness is not strong. Well, if even the two of us can't save Gon, even with the Melody, it's just an extra burden. Kurapika nodded. Fortunately, Gon only understands the basics of reading now, if he cultivates Nen, then he will be in big trouble. Lan Fei took a deep breath. Why? Kurapika was full of doubts. Phantom Troupe leader Chrollo, he can steal other people's Nen, if Gon's Nen is stolen by him, then we can't kill him. As long as Chrollo dies, Gon's Nen will also disappear from his notebook, so Gon will die too. Lan Fei explained. The threat of this ability is really great. Kurapika was a little surprised AFEB. Of course, it's also possible that I remembered wrongly. Lan Fei shrugged. In memory, if the stolen person dies, his Nen will disappear from Chrollo's note, and Chrollo can no longer use this Nen. However, in Chrollo's battle with Zeno and Silva, he first used Nen, the leader of the 10 yin beasts, Owl. However, after the owl was controlled, Hakunoda searched the memory with the bullet and found the whereabouts of the auction item. He was killed. Now that Owl is killed, why is Chrollo still able to use his Nen? If they are not dead, why do you say that all the 10 yin beasts are dead? Lan Fei was a little confused. Maybe, the plot I know is a little different from the plot developed in the past. At this point, the Phantom Troupe base. Head, the person who broke into the base has been caught. I saw Faden and Shalnark walking into this dilapidated unfinished building again. Beside Faden and Shalnark, followed by a figure with bound hands, this person was Chiya. At the beginning, Gon was taken away from Chiya by Maki. After some psychological struggle, Chiya decided to come to save others alone. For Chiya, Gon is his most important friend and partner. It was Gon who brought him out of the shadows. Gon's status in Chiya's heart is far more important than his family. So, for Gon, he can risk his life. Chiya, hey, are you kidding me? If fans of ill find out, I'm afraid that several members of the spider will die. Hisoka, who was sitting at the window playing cards in his hand, slowly raised his head. When he saw Chiya with Faden's skill, his expression changed involuntarily. Gon was already having a headache when he was arrested. Now that Chiya has been arrested again, what is going on? Is that why you can't get over it? Do you want to poke the spider nest of Phantom Troupe? Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Suddenly, Gon exclaimed, and he stared at Chiya in disbelief. How did you get caught too? You idiot. You're the fool. You've been caught, can I not come to rescue you? Chiya gritted her teeth. It's okay, you're fine, otherwise. What can I do? They just used me to threaten Lan Fei. Gon struggled hard, but still couldn't break free from the mind strings tied to his hands. Don't waste your energy in vain, my thoughts can't be broken by ordinary people. Maki said coldly. Damn it, it's not good for Lan Fei to offend anyone, but he offended the Phantom Troupe, and made us all implicated. Chiya is very helpless. Chiya, Lan Fei is my big brother, you are not allowed to say that about him. If you want to blame, you can only blame us for being too weak. Lan Fei has surpassed us by too much. If we want to catch up with him, we must work hard to become stronger. Gon exclaimed that even in the face of danger, he still lived out his character. You two brats really share weal and woe. You have your partners, we also have our partners, and our partners died at the hands of your partners. You say, do we want revenge? Faden stared at Chiya and Gon coldly, a cold murderous intent flashed in his eyes. That's because of your lack of strength. It's up to you to kill or cut, but don't use us to threaten Lan Fei, otherwise, I won't let you do what you want. Gon's voice was also extremely cold. Hey, this brat has a pretty tough temper. Maki, let him settle down for a while. Finks gave Gon a hard look. Oh 9. As soon as Finks finished speaking, Maki moved his fingers slightly, and Gon cried out in pain. The thread that bound his hands slowly shrank, and small bloody cuts like stitches appeared on his wrist instantly. Maki, be careful, I'll kill you. Seeing this scene, a terrifying murderous intent slowly grew in Hisoka's body. Not good. Someone broke into the base again. And, there are two. Suddenly, Cube reminded again. Sensed by his Nen, the figures of Lan Fei and Kurapika are passing through the buildings he copied at a high speed, approaching here. Chapter 90. The decisive battle with Phantom Troupe is imminent. Open black lens bracket, subscribe close black lens bracket. Two people, could it be that brat and Red Eye? Faden frowned. It's just in time, we can kill them here and avenge Uvajan, Nobunaga, Franklin and the others. Finks clenched his fist, a strong killing intent flashed in his eyes. I don't know if it's them, after all, I have come into contact with the aura of these two people. Hugh shook his head. Someone dares to invade our base, how courageous it is. Whoever it is, kill them. Shalnark said coldly. Commander, give the order. Maki turned around and looked at Chrollo, who was sitting on the wooden box where the auction item was sealed. Maki, Pakunoda, I leave these two little devils to you. Transfer them immediately. Chrollo glanced at Maki. Transfer. Captain, are we going to evacuate? Hearing Chrollo's words, Maki frowned. Well, for safety's sake, you'd better evacuate first. Let's stay here to test their strength. Even if we accidentally fall into their hands, you still have ships in your hands that can be exchanged with them. Chrollo nodded. I don't want to stay. Hisoka spread his hands. Hisoka, this is the commander's order. Maki said coldly. I want to follow you. Hisoka gave a weird smile. Okay, Hisoka, Maki, Pakunoda, the three of you together, take these two little devils and retreat first. The others stay here with me to test the strength of the two people who broke into the base. Of course, if it's really that brat and Red Eye, then don't bother to fight and evacuate separately. If it's anyone else, kill them. Chrollo ordered. Last time, we split up and escaped, so we left Uvajan, Nobunaga, and Franklin behind. This time, are we going to separate and evacuate again? Captain, when did our Phantom Troupe ever be so cowardly? Faden gritted his teeth. Last time it was because Uvajan and the three of them stayed to contain Lan Fei, so they had a chance to escape. However, after returning to the base, Faden, Shalnark, Shizuku, Maki, the four of them regretted it. If the seven of them join forces, there may be an interesting chance of winning, and Uvajan and the others will not die. This time, no matter what, I can't escape anymore. Head, this time, I won't withdraw. Even if it's really the two of them, for Uvajan, Nobunaga, and Franklin, I don't care even if they die in battle. Shalnark took a deep breath. Chrollo didn't know what to say. Don't forget that divination poem, evacuation is the most effective way to avoid threats. Could it be that you don't even listen to the orders of my regiment leader? Uvajan, Nobunaga, Franklin are dead, I don't want to lose you anymore. Even if you stay, what's the use? You can only die in vain. Chrollo persuaded with earnestness. Faden, Shalnark, let's listen to the commander. If it's true that the two of them broke into the base, everyone should avoid their sharp edge and be silent for a month, and find out their strength before finding a chance to kill them. After all, the divination and prophecy poems are valid for 1 month. During this month, we try to avoid danger as much as possible. After 1 month, the fate of our brigade may be rewritten. 17. Reminded Pakunoda. But, this is too aggrieved. Since joining Phantom Troupe, have you ever been humiliated like this? Want us to avoid the edge? Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. Suddenly, on the Fink's big box, an auction item worth hundreds of millions was directly smashed by his punch. You know, in the previous Phantom Troupe, he could kill whoever he wanted, grab whatever he wanted, and never compromised with anyone, let alone avoid anyone's edge. It's good now. Who can stand being bullied into such a situation by a 13-year-old kid? I said, retreat. Chrollo stared coldly at Finks, who was in a rage. Act now. If you really meet the two of them, I will stay and hold them back. All of you have to evacuate here. Yes. Maki obeyed Chrollo's order even though he didn't want to. 0. Seeking flowers. 0. You two little devils, if you don't want to die, you can evacuate with us. Pakunoda turned around directly and walked towards the dilapidated staircase. However, do you dare to kill us? Shia pouted. He and Gon were Phantom Troupe's biggest winning chips. Once the two died, Phantom Troupe would definitely be wiped out. We don't want to kill you just yet. However, if you want to suffer less, I advise you to use less tricks. Maki said coldly, turned and caught up with Pakunoda. In her hand, she tightly held two reading threads, and the other end of the reading thread was tied to the wrists of Gon and Shia. Once Gon and Shia have any abnormal behavior, the thread will cut off their wrists directly. 0. Shia, let's go. At least, now is the best result. I don't want them killed by Lan Fei, and I don't want Lan Fei killed by them. Gon shook his head and sighed, and followed Maki step by step. You guys are so naive. How could Shia, who was born as a killer, not know the cruelty of this world? The strong prey on the weak. Countless people have died at the hands of Phantom Troupe over the years. For such a gang that takes pleasure in killing people and stealing goods, how can you show kindness to them? If it wasn't for being afraid of Lan Fei, if it wasn't for the lack of understanding of Lan Fei's ability, and the lack of confidence in defeating Lan Fei, otherwise, Shia and Gon would have been killed long ago. How could they still be kept as bargaining chips? Mistaken. This is a good opportunity. Everyone is scattered. After I rescue Gon Shia, I can have a good fight with Chrollo. While playing poker, Hisoka chased after Maki and Pakunoda, with a strange and ferocious smile on his face from time to time. His purpose of joining Phantom Troupe is to fight Chrollo, who has long been his prey. Whoosh whoosh. Seeing that Maki and Pakunoda retreated first, Chrollo used Xiao's Nen to collect all the auction items, and then led Phaeton and others to disappear in the direction where Lan Fei and Kurapika were approaching. The decisive battle with Phantom Troupe is imminent. And Chapter 91 Lan Fei's Chrollo. This is your graveyard tonight. Open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. QB, how far are these two people from us now? Leaving the base building, Chrollo glanced at Cube beside him with long hair hanging over his face and only one eye exposed. It's less than 300 meters away. After catching that kid named Shia, for the sake of safety, I recreated 100 buildings, and the base building as the center is enough to cover several kilometers. Kyubi closed his eyes and began to sense the positions of Lan Fei and Kurapika. As a member of Phantom Troupe, Kyubi is the only member of the non-combat department. His main Nen is the left hand of the god and the right hand of the devil. When the left hand touches an object, the right hand can copy the exact same thing, although it cannot copy life. But it can copy the appearance of a fixed creature. No matter how big or small the copy is, it will disappear automatically after 24 hours, and the copied thing has a circular effect. 470. That's why he sensed the intrusion of Lan Fei and Kurapika. However, according to the plot trend, when Lan Fei did not travel over, after Kyubi's ability was borrowed by Chrollo, he was killed by Hisoka in the toilet. Less than 300 meters. Chrollo frowned. The duplicated abandoned building was originally designed to confuse intruders and better protect the base from being discovered by others, but the speed of these two people did not slow down at all, and they kept approaching us. How did you know the exact location of our base? Yeah, after these two people entered the sensing range of Kubayuan, they didn't look around at all. Instead, they approached the base at a very fast speed and knew the body position of the base. But the specific location of the base is only known to our Phantom Troupe members. How could they know? Behind Chrollo, Phaeton's voice came. Could it be that there are ghosts in our brigade? Shalnark frowned. Captain, they are still 100 meters away from us. At this time, Kyubi reminded again. Everyone spread out. I'll meet them first. Look at my gestures later. If I lose, everyone must retreat. Don't be impulsive. Chrollo took a deep breath, his face became serious, and his figure slowly landed on a pile of ruins. HMPH, if it's really that brat and Red Eye, I will definitely find a chance to kill them and avenge Uvajin and the others. Finks said coldly. Do not impulse. Listen to the commander's order. Shizuku adjusted his glasses frame, his figure flickered, and disappeared towards an abandoned building not far away. Whoosh whoosh. In an instant, Shalnark, Cube, Sherayev and others also scattered in different directions and hid in abandoned buildings not far away. At this moment, Chrollo was the only one standing on the ruins under the darkness of night. It was pitch black, and the sound of insects could be heard faintly, as well as the whistling cold wind. Coming. Suddenly, Chrollo's eyes lit up, he stared straight ahead, and the two figures became more and more clear under the moonlight. Sure enough, it's the two of them. Chrollo took a deep breath, and his calm heart tensed instantly. The two figures in front of them are Lan Fei and Kurapika. The two of them had met Chrollo in the VIP restaurant of the cemetery building in the underground auction venue. Kurapika, see, he's waiting for us. Lan Fei also noticed Chrollo standing on top of the ruins, and couldn't help grinning. Well, As expected of the leader of Phantom Troupe, he actually knew that we were coming back tonight, and even waited for us here in advance. Kurapika nodded, his dark eyes instantly turned red, and the murderous intent in his eyes was undisguised. Tonight, this is where he will be buried. I didn't expect to come to this step in the end. Before Lan Fei could speak, Chrollo spoke first. He stared at Lan Fei and Kurapika calmly, especially Kurapika's fiery red eyes, which brought back memories in his mind. It really is a pair of beautiful eyes. Tonight, I accept your eyes. Chrollo continued. Actually, I don't want to kill you. At this time, Lan Fei said to himself, staring at Chrollo calmly. I don't want to kill you either. After all, there are only a handful of geniuses like you. Chrollo nodded. Where's my brother? Lan Fei asked. Already evacuated. Of course, beat me, and you can see him. Chrollo smiled and said. You killed Uvajan, Nobunaga, and Franklin, and I can only grab your brother as a bargaining chip. After all, you killed 3 lives of my Phantom Brigade. It's just 3 lives. There are more than that who die in your hands. Don't they deserve to die? And you people of Phantom Troupe don't deserve to die. Kurapika said coldly. Evacuated. Boom. In an instant, a terrifying murderous aura like an abyss devil erupted from Lan Fei's body. The force he released was like a bottomless pit, and the void was distorted. This is the first time Lan Fei burst out all his thoughts. So strong. Isn't this too scary? This kid's murderous aura is even scarier than Zeno and Silva. Freak. What a freak. Could it be that you practiced reading from the womb? Chrollo's complexion changed instantly. It was the first time he felt such a strong and terrifying murderous aura, and the erupting aura made him feel an infinite sense of oppression. Even Zeno and Silva had never felt this oppressive feeling before. Pass. No wonder, Uvajan, Nobunaga, Franklin will die at your hands. Quote. The difference in strength is too great. Chrollo hesitated a little. He wants to give up. Even if he was intercepted by Zeno and Silva, Chrollo felt that he could still survive, but facing Lan Fei, he couldn't see any hope. Let my brother go, I can let the past go. 0.0 inches otherwise, this is your graveyard. Lan Fei said lightly, his eyes full of killing intent. This is the first time he has shown the strongest killing intent since he traveled to this world. Because, Gon is Lan Fei's younger brother. To catch Gon is to offend Lan Fei's reverse scale. No matter who it will not end well. Come on, let me feel your strength. As for your brother, let's talk about it after defeating me. Wow, Chrollo raised his hand, took off his black suit, and threw it on the ruins. He will do his best. This is the first time since Chrollo formed Phantom Troupe to show all the Nen he stole. As you wish. Lan Fei grinned, his figure turned into a golden light, and suddenly disappeared in place. Chapter 92 The Nen stolen by Chrollo. Teleport open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. The speed of light. Seeing Lan Fei's figure turning into golden light and disappearing in place, Chrollo's eyes tightened suddenly. About Lan Fei's ability, Chrollo already knows almost everything, like the ability of Shining Fruit, and the ability of Bamen Dunjia. After Faden and others fled back to the base, they put this information into Chrollo's mind through Pakunoda's memory bomb. When he learned that Lan Fei's speed can reach the speed of light, Chrollo was really shocked. He didn't expect that a person's speed could reach the terrifying speed of light. This kind of Nen is really abnormal. However, Chrollo didn't know the existence of the shiny fruit, so he naturally took Lan Fei's speed of light as Nen. Wow. In an instant, Chrollo activated Nen's Thief's Secret Book, and a notebook appeared in his right hand, and then he opened a page. Light speed kick. In the blink of an eye, behind Chrollo, the golden light slowly condensed into the figure of O5 Lan Fei, and then kicked at Chrollo with a speed of light kick. Boom. Just when Lan Fei's light speed kick was about to kick Chrollo, Chrollo's figure disappeared into the ruins out of thin air. Disappeared. Lan Fei was startled, his light speed kick actually kicked loneliness once again. Kurapika, be careful. Suddenly, Lan Fei's pupils shrank, and he shouted at Kurapika. Chrollo's figure appeared behind Kurapika at some point, the note in his hand closed slowly, and then opened another page. Amazing Furoshiki. In an instant, a cloak was grabbed by Chrollo in his left hand, and he directly covered Kurapika. This is Nen of the Owl of the 10 Yin Beasts. Kurapika, don't be covered by the cloak, or you will be captured by him. Lan Fei's face changed slightly, and the memories in his mind flicked rapidly, and he quickly found Chrollo's Nen board. As a time traveler, although Lan Fei doesn't know much about the plot, he has paid attention to Nen, the main character. By the way, this guy definitely used the teleport Nen first. Otherwise, it would be impossible to avoid my light speed kick. Lan Fei instantly understood why Chrollo could disappear out of thin air. Even for a monster as strong as Maha Zoldyck, he couldn't escape his light speed kick, so he could only block it with the powerful body of the enhancer. Although my kick was lonely and didn't cause any harm to Maha Zoldyck, but no matter what, it still kicked Maha Zoldyck. But Ku Gurgur is different, he just avoided it completely, and Nen, who activated teleportation, avoided it, which caused his own kick to be lonely again. Owl's Nen. Hearing this, Kurapika's figure flew back extremely quickly, and the chain in his hand was thrown out directly, hitting the cloak, not giving Chrollo a chance to get close. Chain. Manipulator. Seeing the chains sacrificed in Pika's hands, Chrollo instantly determined that Kurapika's chains were physical objects, not real weapons. Boom. Bang bang bang. Kurapika kept keeping a distance from Chrollo, and all the chain attacks fell on the cloak, repelling Chrollo who wanted to approach again and again. It seems that there is no way to capture it. Seeing that Kurapika was so vigilant, Chrollo directly gave up his plan to capture Kurapika by surprise. If the cloak can cover Kurapika, it can make him shrink and put it directly in the pocket. Then I will try to steal Kurapika's nen. 8-foot Chong Guyu. At the same time, Lan Fei shot again, and the dense golden light bullets in his hand drowned Chrollo. Bang bang bang. Boom. Dense impact sounds sounded on the cloak, and then there was an explosion sound, and the terrible aftermath razed the surrounding ruins to the ground. Okay. There's nothing wrong with it. This cloak can also resist the attack of shining fruit. Lan Fei frowned. After the explosion, Chrollo stood motionless with his cloak in his hand. There was no trace of injury on his body, and even the clothes on his body were intact. Little devil, you actually know my abilities. Chrollo waved the cloak in his hand, then disappeared out of thin air, and the note in his hand was slowly closed. Both each other. Since I dare to come here to find you, I will come prepared. Lan Fei nodded. However, what surprised me is that you chose to stay alone. You are indeed the leader of a team. As soon as the words fell, Lan Fei's figure turned into golden light again and disappeared in place. Light speed kick. Lan Fei's figure condensed above Chrollo's head, and kicked Chrollo again. Wow. In the next second, Chrollo's figure disappeared out of thin air again, appearing in Lan Fei's original position. How come? The note is closed, isn't all Nen disabled? Lan Fei stared at Chrollo in shock. You 657 brat, you know a lot. Hearing this, Chrollo was also shocked. He didn't expect Lan Fei, a kid, to understand him to this extent. By the way, the bookmark chapter. Suddenly, Lan Fei thought of a possibility, that is the bookmark chapter. As long as you use the bookmark, even if the book is closed, you can use the ability of the previous page, and you can also use the ability of the other page opened when you were in a ketone. What? You brat. The shock on Chrollo's face disappeared, replaced by fear. To even know the bookmark chapter, isn't this too perverted? Why does this kid, Lan Fei, know his own abilities so clearly? The details are all known by others, so you still want to fight. Where's your manipulator's secret chamber fish? Oh, by the way, it's too open here, I'm afraid your fish in the secret room will be useless. Lan Fei grinned and stared at Chrollo with a half smile. Chrollo didn't know what to say. Lan Fei, this kid is too weird and scary, is he really just a 13-year-old boy? The warm-up is over, next, I'm going to be serious. Lan Fei took a deep breath and stared at Chrollo calmly. Chapter 93 Chrollo was arrested, the fate of Phantom Troupe open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Warm-up over. Chrollo took a deep breath, and learned from Phaeton and the others that Lan Fei's most powerful attack is the Enhancer, and his strength and speed have been raised to an unprecedented height. From his point of view, Ubajan was instantly killed by Lan Fei, and Enhancer was Lan Fei's biggest reliance. Of course, this is just Chrollo's own personal opinion, because he doesn't know the physical skills of Bamen Dunjia, so he naturally regarded it as an Enhancer. However, Bamen Dunjia is a bit like Enhancer's Nen, especially the one that opens the door of death. It is definitely comparable to the strongest Enhancer in the world, and it can be as tough as Netero's 100-style Guanyin, except Dark Continent. Kurapika, I will spare him later, remember to catch him when the time comes. In this way, we also have ships in our hands. Lan Fei's voice reached Kurapika's ears. Don't worry, I won't let him go. Kurapika nodded. Boom. 8 Door Dunjia, open the door, open. In an instant, a powerful gust of energy erupted from Lan Fei's body, the blood in his body began to boil, and the steam continued to overflow. It's so strong, this brat's thoughts are really unbelievably strong. It is definitely the strongest opponent I have encountered so far. You're ridiculously strong at the age of 13, wouldn't you be even more perverted when you grow up? Chrollo stared at Lan Fei solemnly. One of the reasons why Chairman Netero can become the strongest in the world is that he has lived for a long time, and he was in the same era as Maha Zoldyck. He exudes chi as the pinnacle of human beings. 8 Door Dunjia, Hue Door open. Boom. At this moment, the chi on Lan Fei's body was still rising. 8 Doors Dunjia, Life Door opens. Boom. 8 Gate Dunjia, Jingmun open. Pipe exclamation mark quote. On Lan Fei's body, the steam was like a burning green flame, and his aura surged again. This brat is still soaring in anger. Enhancer can do this step. No wonder Ubajan can kill with one punch, it's terrible. It seems that we can only avoid its edge temporarily. Feeling that the chi on Lan Fei's body was still rising, Lien Lulu smelled a hint of danger. According to the content of the prophecy poem, although I will not die, it is impossible to stay out of it, at least I will be seriously injured. 8 Door Dunjia, Door of Death, open. Exclamation mark. With the sound of the last roar, the chi on Lan Fei's body climbed to the extreme, and the color of the steam on his body turned red, just like Kurapika's fiery red eyes. Are you ready? Lan Fei tilted his head and grinned. Sunset. Boom. The figure of Lan Fei jumped up immediately, and punched Chrollo. The terrifying air continuously compressed the air, squeezing it into a powerful air cannon. If he is hit by this punch, he will probably be injured. Chrollo took a deep breath. Fortunately he has teleportation Nen, otherwise, he would end up no better than Ubajan. Boom. Just when Chrollo wanted to initiate teleportation, he was shocked to find that the teleportation failed. How? The space is distorted. Chrollo's eyes widened, staring at the punch that landed on him. Puff. In an instant, a mouthful of blood coughed out from Chrollo's mouth. Joke. Xixiang's attack can completely squeeze and distort the space, and block the chi. How can Chrollo's teleportation be activated? You can't move, if you go on like this, you won't even die. 17. Besides, I'm not a member of the Enhancer. It seems that we can only gamble. Chrollo gritted his teeth, opened the note in his hand again, and landed on Xiao Xiao's nen. Wow. The cloak appeared in the palm of his hand again, and Chrollo waved the cloak in front of him. 2-legged, 3-legged, 4-legged, 5-legged. Boom. Lan Fei blasted 4 punches in succession. Each punch was enough to squeeze the space into distortion, and the air cannon form made Chrollo unable to move, as if he was imprisoned in place. His teleporting nen was restrained for the first time. Puff. Chrollo coughed up blood, even though there was a cloak in front of him, but when Lan Fei's final punch fell, the cloak was directly shattered, his clothes were also shattered, and the air blade formed by the powerful air cannon hit him. A series of scars were scraped out, and the internal organs in the body suffered damage to varying degrees. If it weren't for the manipulator's cloak, Lianlulu would have died. And Nyan Nasra's prophecy poem may be forcibly changed by you. #Kurapika. Now is the time. Lan Fei shouted at Kurapika. Clatter. Just when Chrollo was blocked by Lan Fei's evening image, the chain in Kurapika's hand had already wrapped around Chrollo's body, and he pulled hard suddenly, binding Chrollo tightly in an instant. This. Wrap me in chains when I can't move. Chrollo's face suddenly changed, but he calmed down quickly. He made a mistake. The reason why he chose to stay to explore the strength of Lan Fei and Kurapika is because of Chrollo's confidence in his own strength and his brain with a high IQ. Originally, relying on the teleportation of Nen, he could completely retreat, but who would have thought that the teleportation would be restrained? The enhancer can compress the air, so that the space is distorted and unable to launch teleportation, which is something he, Li Lahao, has never encountered before. Puff. Suddenly, Chrollo felt a pain in his heart, as if something had pierced his heart. The chain of commandments of my little finger has pierced your heart. Successful capture. Level. Kurapika stared at Chrollo calmly, a murderous intent flashed in his fiery red eyes. If it weren't for using Chrollo as a bargaining chip to save Gon, it would be impossible for Kurapika to let Chrollo live another day. Not good. The leader has been arrested. Damn, what to do? In an abandoned building not far away, Cube gritted his teeth and stared nervously at Chrollo, who was bound by chains. Whoosh whoosh. Just when Cubey didn't know what to do, the figures of Phaeton, Shalnark and others rushed out from other abandoned buildings and surrounded Lan Fei and Kurapika. Chapter 94 Changes. Hisoka's ambition, the death of Maki and Pakunoda. Open black lens bracket. Subscribe close black lens bracket. Leader. Seeing that Chrollo was bound by Kurapika's chains, Phaeton, Shalnark and the others became anxious and immediately surrounded Lan Fei and Kurapika. You, a-hole, why don't you withdraw? Seeing Phaeton and others appear, Chrollo's face suddenly darkened. Captain, we are worried about you. Little ghost, let our regiment leader go, otherwise, your brother will definitely die. The bulky-eyed fish appeared in Shizuku's hands, and he sternly shouted at Lan Fei with a serious face. Threaten me, Ong. Lan Fei's figure suddenly disappeared in place, and appeared in front of Shizuku in the blink of an eye. 1 foot. Boom. Lan Fei punched out directly, and the air cannon squeezed out by the powerful chi devoured Shizuku away. Shizuku didn't have time to think about it, and the Popeye in his hand met Lan Fei's punch. In an instant, the Popeyed fish collided with the air cannon. Shizuku's figure flew upside down, smashed into the ruins, coughed up blood, and the Popeyed fish in his hand disappeared out of thin air. Shizuku. Damn it. Boom. In an instant, a terrifying murderous aura erupted from Finks. 413 inches. Stop. At this time, Chrollo glanced at Finks and the others with cold eyes. You are not his opponent, why don't you hurry up and withdraw before he wants to kill you? Captain, if we don't withdraw, even if we die, we will die with the leader. Shalnark gritted his teeth. Yeah, we Phantom Troupe have no cowards. At this time, the figure of Cubey also rushed over from an abandoned building not far away. 11. Chrollo took a deep breath, trying to break free from the chains, but he found that the more he tried to break free, the tighter the chains became. It's useless, my chain is specially used to deal with you spiders. Also, don't try to use Nen in vain. The chain of commandments of my little finger has pierced your heart. The command of the promise is that you cannot activate Nen, otherwise, the chain of commandments will shatter your heart. Kurapika reminded, with a strong killing intent in his voice. The chain of commandments. Can't use Nen. Isn't this move too ruthless? Chrollo's complexion changed slightly. He couldn't use Nen, wouldn't he be slaughtered in the future? Fiery red eyes. You. Peeling Lev was startled and angry. Kurapika's move was too ruthless. It was equivalent to sealing up the leader of Nen. Unless Phantom Troupe could be found in the future, Phantom Troupe might be disbanded. Leader. Phaeton narrowed his eyes. If Chrollo can't use Nen, who will listen to Phantom Troupe's orders in the future? Especially Hisoka, who was born rebellious, how can he obey the orders of the leader? Once there is a disagreement, the group will not be a group, and Phantom Troupe is afraid that it will be reduced to the end of disbanding. I'll give you 3 minutes. Either let Gon go, or I'll kill you all. At this time, Lan Fei approached Kurapika step by step, stared at Chrollo who was bound by chains with a smile, and continued, you should know that even if I have this strength, I won't joke with you. Okay, I'll call Maki right now. Shalnark took out his phone without any hesitation. Since both of us have our own chips in our hands, there is naturally something to talk about. If you want me to release Gon, it's not impossible. You have to promise me one condition, otherwise, I don't mind one life for another. A hint of madness flickered in Chrollo's eyes. What conditions? Lan Fei frowned and reminded. You have to know, it's not a life for another life, but a life for the lives of all your spider members. If anything happens to Gon, this is the graveyard for all of you. Lan Fei, stop talking so much nonsense with him. Spider people be damned. AFCJ. Kurapika's fiery red eyes glanced coldly at Phaeton and the others, the murderous aura on his body was undisguised. I can tell Maki to let Gon go, but you have to make sure we all get out safely. Chrollo stared at Lan Fei calmly. Dream. Quote exclamation mark quote. You can leave, but whether they can leave depends on their strength and luck. Kurapika's eyes are full of infinite killing intent. Kurapika, I'm just a younger brother like Gon. When I came out, I promised Mito Aunt to take good care of Gon. 17. Lan Fei took a deep breath, he stared at Chrollo with firm eyes. I promise you, as long as Gon is released, all of you can leave safely tonight. Remember, it was tonight. Shalnark, call and ask Maki to bring someone over. Chrollo ordered. It is good. Shalnark nodded and quickly called Maki. Sorry, Maki has been killed by me. On the other end of the phone, Hisoka's strange ghost-like voice came. Hisoka, how dare you? Shalnark exploded instantly. Now, the leader has fallen into the hands of the enemy, and Hisoka actually killed his companions. How dare this guy? Why did he do this? Shalnark, what happened? Seeing that Shalnark was furious, Phaeton asked quickly. Hey, I'm all here, don't be so loud, it's scary. At this time, not far away, Hisoka's figure slowly came out from the dark night, with a strange smile on his face. Behind him, Gon and Chi are following. Gon. Lan Fei's eyes lit up, and he shouted excitedly. Lan Fei. Seeing Lan Fei again, Gon was also very excited at the moment, and rushed towards Lan Fei. Gon, sorry for making you suffer. The two brothers hugged each other quickly, Lan Fei patted Gon's head, and fell into deep self-blame. Lan Fei, I'm fine. Having a big brother like you is the greatest happiness in my life. Gon slowly pushed Lan Fei's embrace away, and blinked with a smile. What about Hisoka, Maki and Pakunoda? Chrollo's heart skipped a beat when he didn't see Maki and Pakunoda. I'm sorry, the two of them have already been killed by me. Hisoka licked the corner of his mouth, and the weird smile on his face added a bit of ferocity. What? Hearing this, Chrollo's pupils shrank suddenly. Phaeton, Finks and others on the side also suddenly changed expression. Chapter 95 Chrollo becomes useless. Hisoka, do you want to die? Open black lens bracket subscribe close black lens bracket. You know, as the leader of Phantom Troupe, Chrollo has always been very strong, but in order to avoid the danger in the prophecy, he chose to retreat to save the lives of his companions. But, even so, he lost his companion again. First Uvajin, Nobunaga, Franklin, now Maki, Pakunoda, more than half of the spider members have been lost. Why? Chrollo stared at Hisoka. He didn't understand why Hisoka wanted to kill Maki and Pakunoda, there was no quarrel between them. For Gon, of course, the most important thing is for you. Hisoka licked the corner of his mouth, the reason why I joined Phantom Troupe is because of you, the regiment leader. For me, Chrollo frowned. I want to fight you with my own hands, and then kill you. That's why I joined Phantom Troupe. Hisoka raised his hand and scratched his back, and he caught the spider's mark. Looking carefully, it turned out to be a piece of paper. The spider's mark on the paper was made by his Nen's frivolous illusion. For this, you killed Maki, Pakunoda. Chrollo took a deep breath, a water-cooled murderous intent flashed in his eyes. Tisk tisk, I like you the way you are now. Being angry can make you want to kill, so that I can be more excited and satisfy the desire in my heart. Hisoka licked the corner of his mouth, revealing a ferocious and insolent smile. Hisoka, I'm going to kill you. Boom. A powerful murderous aura emanated from Finks. Hey, I'm not interested in you at all. Of course, if you want to die, I can also fulfill you. Hisoka laughed bitterly. Hisoka, you traitor. I swear, I will kill you. Phaeton was also angry. He has always disliked Hisoka, and he has long seen that this guy is a traitor, but he didn't expect to kill his own companion. Traitor. From the beginning to the end, my goal is only Chrollo, I don't see you as my companions. Hisoka spread his hands. Lan Fei, I'm safe now, let him go as agreed. After all, they Phantom Troupe have killed a lot of people. At this time, Gon pulled the hem of his clothes. You, sooner or later you will be harmed by the kindness in your heart. Lan Fei glared at Gon, then turned to look at Kurapika. Kurapika, let him go, anyway, he's already a useless person now, and he doesn't pose any threat. Humph, remember what I just said, once you use Nen, you will die. Kurapika said coldly. Clatter. As soon as the words fell, the chains wrapped around Chrollo disappeared immediately. Captain. Seeing that the chains on Chrollo disappeared, Phaeton, Finks, Shalnark and others all surrounded Chrollo with concern. I'm fine. Chrollo took a deep breath, looking at the few remaining companions in front of him, he had mixed feelings in his heart. Once upon a time, the Phantom Troupe was full of high spirits. There were 12 members in the regiment, burning, killing and looting, and no one could stop it. 10 Degrees was the most feared and strongest bandit group. But now, dead and wounded, even Nen, who is the leader of the group, has been banned, which makes Chrollo very worried and distressed. However, even so, the remaining members still support him and love him, and their friendship has become stronger. Chrollo will continue to go on, even if only they are left in the end. According to the content of the prophecy poem, he will go all the way east, looking for new companions. Captain, let me kill Hisoka first. Phaeton gritted his teeth, not hiding the murderous look on his body. Phaeton, forget it. Our brigade has suffered enough casualties, I don't want to lose you anymore. Let's go, just follow the content in the prophecy poem, leave HxH City, and head east all the way. There are still people waiting for us. Chrollo shook his head and stopped Phaeton with words. But, I'm not reconciled. Maki, Pakunoda did not die at the hands of their enemies, but at the hands of their own. I must kill this traitor. 0. Ask for flowers. Phaeton still couldn't suppress the killing intent in his body. He's never been one of us. Chrollo sighed. Chrollo, after waiting until today, do you think I will let you go easily? Let's have a fair fight between us. I really want to fight you, really want to kill you with my own hands. Hisoka licked the corner of his mouth, and walked towards Chrollo step by step. I'm afraid it won't work out as you wish. The me now is just a useless person. Chrollo shrugged. Crap, Hisoka frowned. His thoughts have been banned by me. Once he forces it, my chain of commandments will shatter his heart. Kurapika looked at Hisoka with a calm face. What? Boom. In an instant, a terrifying murderous aura erupted from Hisoka's body, and the powerful aura distorted the void around him. After finally waiting for such a good opportunity, it was ruined by Kurapika unexpectedly. How could Hisoka not be angry? Hisoka, do you want to die? Sensing the terrifying murderous aura on Hisoka, Lan Fei stared at Hisoka coldly. Haha, I was just kidding with Kurapika. Why do you have to be so serious? Seeing Lan Fei staring at him coldly, Hisoka couldn't help laughing, and the murderous aura on his body disappeared suddenly. Ever since Lan Fei defeated the landlord on the 250th floor, Hisoka has given up on his prey. Even though Hisoka is confident in himself, facing Lan Fei's terrifying strength, Hisoka can't see any hope of winning. You must know that the perverted members of Enhancer who are as strong as Ubijin are all instantly killed by Lan Fei with a single punch, but Hisoka can't do it. And, if it wasn't for saving Gon, Chrollo would probably be killed by Lan Fei. After all, Shishong is not the strongest move of Death Gate. Once Lan Fei casts Yikai, Chrollo will undoubtedly die. By the way, I almost forgot. Before you leave HxH City, I want to ask you for a few things. Lan Fei withdrew his gaze from Hisoka and stared at Chrollo with a smile. Chapter 96 The final ending of Phantom Troupe, a little surprise for 9 open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. How many things do you want from me? Hearing this, Chrollo was slightly surprised. Now that he is a useless person, what else should Lan worry about? Those auction items that were swapped, should still be on you. Lan Fei stared at Chrollo with a half smile. You even know this. Chrollo opened his mouth, not knowing what to say. He regretted it a little now. He shouldn't have tied up Gon and formed a relationship with Lan Fei, a little devil. This kid is really terrifying. Not only is he powerful, but he also seems to have the ability of a prophet. He even knows that the auction item has been swapped. Of course, the auction items in the auction are fake, and the real ones have long been sold by you. To be able to reproduce exactly the same as the original, only QB, a member of your Phantom Brigade 190 inches group, has this ability. Quote. Lan Fei grinned and continued. I just want 4 auction items. 1. The whole body mummy of Princess Kemuk. 2. The tissue paper used by actor Matsuri Maki, with a DNA certificate. 3. The eyeball of the Kuruda tribe, known as Red Eye. 4. A game called Greed Island. Hearing that Lan Fei ordered 4 extremely important auction items in one go, Chrollo was a little bit unwilling. These 4 auction items are all hot items in the underground auction, and they are also the main targets of their Phantom Troupe theft. Unexpectedly, Lan Fei opened his mouth like a lion. Why, don't you want to? Lan Fei's complexion suddenly darkened, and he said calmly, then. I can only kill 4 of you, and exchange their lives for these 4 auction items. You brat. Okay, I'll give it to you. Hearing Lan Fei's threat, Chrollo compromised. He has no doubts about Lan Fei's strength and determination. He can kill Ubijin, Nobunaga, Franklin and others, and naturally he can also kill several Phantom Troupe members. Now that Maki and Pakunoda are dead, Chrollo doesn't want to lose anyone else in the brigade. Captain. No, this is the purpose of our arrival in HxH City. If we give these 4 auction items to him, wouldn't our hard work these days be in vain? Also, we've lost so many people. Finks is in a hurry. It's so frustrating. When did Phantom Troupe fall to the point of being threatened, and he was still a 13-year-old kid? It's just a few auction items. If you can get you to leave HxH City safely, it will be worth it. As long as one life is saved, there will be a chance to snatch it later. Chrollo took a deep breath. Why didn't he know that this time he lost both his wife and his army? Even if he is aggrieved, Chrollo can only endure it, because only by saving his life can he return what he lost 100 times and 1,000 times tonight. Finks, for these auction items, the brigade has already paid a heavy price, and even the head of the brigade has been banned. Nen, you should not disobey the order of the head of the brigade. Shizuku reminded. I just can't bear this breath. Finks gritted his teeth. If you can't bear it, you have to bear it, and the brigade still depends on us living people to continue walking. Chrollo glanced at Finks, and said earnestly. Then, he threw a small bag from his pocket to Lan Fei. The things you want are in here. Thanks. Lan Fei nodded, carefully looking at the small bag in his hand. Let's go. With heavy steps, Chrollo led the rest of the phantom troop and disappeared into the night. It's a pity that such a good prey. Looking at Chrollo's lonely back, Hisoka couldn't help feeling a little sad. After a while, Hisoka's figure also disappeared into the night. Lan Fei, will it make them too miserable? Watching Chrollo and others leave, Gon couldn't bear it. Awful. Lan Fei shook his head. Gon, you have to know that this world will be dominated by the strong and the strong will prevail. Phantom Troop did all kinds of evil, burning, killing and looting, and countless people died at their hands. Enough to kill them 1,000 or 10,000 times. Of course, Lan Fei is not a virgin W***re, the purpose this time is only to save Gon. If he encounters Phantom Troop again in the future, Lan Fei will not be relentless. After all, kidnapping Gon violated Lan Fei's inverse scales, and Lan Fei would not expose it so easily. If it wasn't for saving you, this would be the graveyard of their Phantom Troop tonight. Kurapika said coldly. Even though Phantom Troop had killed so many people, it was still hard to get rid of the resentment in his heart. Kurapika, thank you. Gon didn't expect that. For himself, Kurapika could temporarily let go of the hatred in his heart. This is enough to see his status in Kurapika's heart. Indeed, just like the content in Kurapika's prophetic poem, what is lost has been lost, and what has been gained has been gained. Kurapika does not want to lose partners like Lan Fei and Gon. Lan Fei, Kurapika, thank you. Chiya, who had been silent for a long time, also spoke. This time, if it wasn't for Lan Fei and Kurapika, he and Gon might have died in the hands of Phantom Troop long ago. Okay, let's go back. With these 3 collections, Sister Niwing should be very happy. Lan Fei weighed the small bag in his hand. I have to say that Xiao Xiao's ability is really incredible, to be able to store so many things in such a small space. Among the 4 collectibles, except for Red Eye, the other 3 can be given to Nyan Nasra. Lan Fei believes that with these 3 collectibles, Nyan Nasra will be very happy, and he will be able to get closer to the relationship with Nyan 4.6 Nasra. This can be regarded as a little surprise for Nyan Nasra from Lan Fei. Lan Fei, thank you. At this time, Kurapika took a deep breath. The fiery red eyes had already returned to normal, revealing the dark pupils, and the killing intent on him disappeared with the departure of Phantom Troop. Kurapika, you have to remember, you are my partner. Lan Fei stared at Kurapika and said meaningfully. Yes, we are partners. Kurapika smiled slightly. Suddenly, a sense of powerlessness spread throughout Lan Fei's body, and he collapsed instantly. Lan Fei knew that this was a defect of Bamen Dunjia, and when the 10-minute deadline was up, he would be completely weak. Chapter 97 Kissed by Sister Niwing again. The Island of Greed opens open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Ukexan City, Nasla Family Manor. Inside a gorgeous castle. At this moment, there were 4 figures standing in Nyan Nasra's room. It was Lan Fei, Kurapika, Chiya, Gon. Great. It turned out to be the long-awaited full-body mummy of Princess Kemuk, as well as the facial tissue used by actor Matsuri Maki, with a DNA testimonial. On the soft bed of the Pink Girl series in the room, Nyan is staring at the collection in front of her with great excitement. Sister Niwing, I worked so hard to get this for you. How can you thank me? Seeing that Nyan Nasra was as happy as a child, Lan Fei couldn't help laughing. Only these collections of human bodies can make Nyan Nasra truly happy. After all, it's the hobby of her life. Hee hee, little brother, you are too kind. These 2 treasures are what I have been looking forward to for a long time. Although I didn't bid for them myself, I am still very happy. Little brother, let's talk about O5. In order to reward you, what do you want, sister? I will definitely satisfy you. Money, or a place in the gang. As long as I mention it to my father will definitely agree. Nyan Nasra got off the bed, her beautiful eyes blinked, and she liked Lan Fei more and more. I'm not interested in that. Lan Fei tilted his head, then said with a smirk. Why don't you kiss me, Sister Niwing? Last time you kissed my left cheek, this time kiss my right cheek. It's that simple. Nyan Nasra was startled. Well, my happiness is that simple. Lan Fei blinked. Lan Fei, you are so shameless. Gon at the side couldn't stand it any longer, couldn't help laughing and cursing. Human kid is big. Kurapika was also speechless. Lan Fei, this guy really knows how to play. Chiya shook her head helplessly. Well, it's just a kiss. Nyan Nasra lowered her head and kissed Lan Fei's right cheek. However, the cunning Lan Fei turned his face to the side, pouted and faced Nyan Nasra. Boo. In an instant, the 2 kissed together. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. Soon, Nyan Nasra screamed directly. If Lan Fei and Kurapika were not her bodyguards, those gangsters guarding outside the castle with hot weapons might rush in. Little brother, you. Nyan Nasra hesitated, and her beautiful eyes couldn't help but glared fiercely at Lan Fei. That fluffy fair face was as red as a monkey's butt at the moment. As a girl with a pure and innocent nature, Nyan Nasra never imagined that one day she would be tricked into taking her first kiss by a 13-year-old kid. Hee hee, Sister Niwing, your lipstick smells really good. Lan Fei smirked and winked at Nyan Nasra. You brat. If it weren't for the fact that you helped me get these 2 treasures, I would have taught you a lesson and spanked you hard. Nyan Nasra gritted her teeth, pretended to be angry, turned around and ignored Lan Fei. This little girl is really cute. Lan Fei grinned, turns and walks out of Nyan Nostra's room. Lan Fei, those fiery red eyes in the collection. At this time, Kurapika chased him out. Don't worry, this is a relic of your clan, and no one is entitled to it. Lan Fei nodded, and poured out the last 2 treasures from the small bag. There is a game called Greed Island that Kurapika really wants to get. Red Eye is kept in a vacuum box, while Greedy Island is a game box like a lockbox, with a memory card inserted in it and a multiplayer connector. Fiery red eyes. Finally got it. Kurapika held the vacuum box carefully, and the pair of fiery red eyes inside were exactly the same as his own when he turned red. It is a relic of the Kurapika tribe, who values it more than his own life. What a pair of beautiful eyes. Looking at the fiery red eyes in the vacuum box, Gon was instantly amazed. Fiery red eyes are known as one of the 7 most beautiful colors in the world. No wonder Phantom Troupe is so greedy for them, and even killed the people of Kurapika at all costs. Such a pair of beautiful eyes is enough to make people crazy. HxH secretly said, Lan Fei, is this the game called Greed Island? Shocked, Gon's eyes fell on the game box beside him. Well, this is the game made by your father Kim Fujili and a few companions. Lan Fei nodded. You know this as well. Hearing this, Gon was taken aback, with a look of shock on his face again. You know, this game is only known to Gon after listening to the tape left by his father Kim. 137 Fujili, and only in this game can he find clues about Kim. Free CSS. He didn't expect that Lan Fei knew the secret of this game. After all, although many people know the existence of this game, they don't know that the producer of this game is Jin. Free CSS, one of the top 5 creators in the world. A game made by Papa Gon. Kurapika slowly put down the fiery eyes in his hands, and his eyes fell on the game box of Greed Island. This game is fun, but it's also full of danger. Lan Fei took a deep breath, and began to explain the gameplay of this game to Gon, HxH, and Kurapika. Besides, if you want to play this game, you must master the 4 elements of Nien, that is, the real practice of cultivation. Only those who belong to their own thought system can enter this game. Once the player enters the game, even if the host is unplugged, the game will still continue, and the game machine body cannot be damaged. The game will stop after the player dies, the player can come back only after finding the storage point. So, if you want to play this game, Gon, HxH, the 2 of you are not up to the requirements yet. Lan Fei blinked at Gon and HxH. Chapter 98 Lan Fei enters the Island of Greed, Gon and HxH's special training open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. What? We haven't met the requirements yet. Gon was startled, thinking he heard it wrong. Lan Fei, HxH and I are now hunter qualification certificates, and we have also learned the basics of reciting. How could we fail to meet the requirements? The hair in the 4 major lines of reading is divided into 6 major departments, namely Enhancer, Transmuter, Conjurer, Emitter, Manipulator and Trait department. Due to the different aptitude, personality and growth environment of each person, the departments they belong to are also different. It is difficult to practice the Nen of the department you belong to, and the Nen of the non-affiliated department is difficult to cultivate, and the farther away from the department you belong to, the harder it is to cultivate. In addition, if you impose some restrictions and vows on yourself during practice, the success rate will increase, that is, the stricter the restriction, the higher the completion rate. Lan Fei explained. My idea is to add constraints and vows, so that I can have the strength to fight against Phantom Troupe. Kurapika nodded. Gon, HxH, although the 2 of you have learned the basic practice of Nien in the Sky Arena, if you want to enter this Greedy Island game, you must learn to send it. Next, let me tell you about the rules and gameplay of this game. Of course, I will enter this game later to explore the way for you. Kurapika, you should first teach Gon and HxH how to practice hair, and after they have cultivated their own Nen system, you can enter this game together, and I will have a round with you in the game. Although this game has only 1 memory card, it has a multiplayer connector, which happens to be. Lan Fei looked at Kurapika and continued. In the game, the condition for breaking the level is to put 100 cards into the frame of the specified number in the card collection book. Players can use 2 kinds of magic and gain. The props obtained in the game are all it can be turned into a card. When you get an item, you only need to hold the item in your hand, and the item will automatically become a card. If you want to use a card, you only need to hold the card in your hand and say gain, and the card will automatically change back to the corresponding props. But it should be noted that once the props are removed from the card state by gain, they can no longer be turned into cards. At this time, if you want to get the card, you must get the props again. In addition, if the props reach the limit if it is counted, it can no longer be turned into a card. For example, the card limit of a props is 3, then at most 3 A props can be turned into cards at the same time, and there cannot be more than 3 A props cards at the same time. It should be noted that if the card is not placed in the book for 1 minute, it will automatically turn back into an item and can no longer be turned into a card backquote. Also, if the player dies in the game, all the information in the book and the ring will disappear, and once the player leaves the game and does not return to the game for 10 days, all the cards will also disappear. 27. The most important point is that many objects in it can be brought back to the real world, and most people go for this goal. Lan Fei glanced at Gon, HxH, and Kurapika. Have you heard clearly? Sounds like fun. HxH's eyes lit up. It's just a game of collecting cards, and it shouldn't be too difficult. After listening to the rules of the game explained by Lan Fei, Kurapika also had a kind of eagerness to try. Lan Fei, How do you know the rules of this game? Did you ever play? Gon frowned. Ever since he left Whale Island, he felt like Lan Fei had changed, and he didn't even recognize him. The concealment of strength, as well as the understanding of Phantom Troupe and the Island of Greed, are as if they have experienced it personally. Don't forget, I have a hunter license, which can be found on the hunter website. Lan Fei blinked and lied casually. Okay. Gon curled his lips. By the way, Gon, you should have the memory card left by your father in your hand, right? Lan Fei asked. How much do you know? Gon stared at Lan Fei as if looking at a monster. The memory card in my hand was indeed left by Jin Fujili, but it was obtained from the box left by Jin Fujili after I and Xia returned to Whale Island. How did Lan Fei know? You know, Lan Fei hasn't been back since leaving Whale Island, which made it even more difficult for Gon to see Lan Fei clearly. How many secrets does this big brother of mine hide? My guess. Lan Fei grinned and continued. You can use this memory card by yourself. I share a memory card with Xia and Kurapika. Well, I will use the memory card left by Kim Fujili. Gon nodded. Kurapika, the special training for Gon and Xia is entrusted to you. Quote. Hopefully, the four of us can take risks together in the game as soon as possible. Okay, I will enter the game first. Lan Fei looked at Kurapika, gave a warning, and then walked towards the game box of Greed Island step by step. Soon, Lan Fei opened the game box and started the Greedy Island game. Island of Greed, here I come. Lan Fei took a deep breath, and a powerful thought slowly emanated from his body. Exclamation mark. In an instant, under the watchful eyes of Gon, Xia, and Kurapika, Lan Fei's figure suddenly disappeared, and he entered the game of Greed Island. Wow, this is too amazing. Really entered the game. Seeing Lan Fei disappear out of thin air, Gon looked very excited. It's amazing, I also want to enter the game earlier and experience the wonderful world in the game. Kurapika, hurry up and teach us how to practice FA. Xia also couldn't hold back the excitement in her heart. Gon, Xia, you two come out with me. Kurapika nodded, turned around and walked out of the castle. FA, it's easy to say, but difficult to say. In the final analysis it is to freely manipulate and use one's chi. Moreover, if you want to practice the nirvana, ability varies from person to person. At the same time, Lan Fei, who entered the game, only felt a blankness in front of him. Phantom came to G1's world. You are Mr. Lan Fei. After a while, a voice came over, and an intelligent life slowly appeared in front of Lan Fei's eyes, and a dreamlike console appeared in the originally white surroundings. Chapter 99 The old man bullied the newcomer. Lan Fei was planted with a tracking card open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Mr. Lan Fei, the next game will be explained. Do you want to continue listening? NPC Intelligent Life reminded. Listen. Lan Fei shrugged his shoulders. Although he knew a little about the plot, he was a newcomer after all. It's good to listen to it, maybe he can regain some memories. When you enter this game, you will get a ring. As long as you wear the Ring of Wonder, you can use two kinds of magic in this world, one is gain. The NPC Intelligent Life said patiently. Ring. Lan Fei nodded, took out a ring from his pocket and put it in his hand. The ring, memory card, and game console are all obtained from Chrollo. When Chrollo stole the Greedy Island game before, he also stole the ring that started the game. Rings and memory cards, both are indispensable in this game. Hold out your ring-wearing finger, 4. NPC Intelligent Life reminded. Lan Fei raised his right hand, and pointed his ring-wearing index finger forward slightly. In an instant, Japanese magic was directly suspended in front of him. The main purpose of this game is to invite all players to collect designated cards. The magic book that was called out just now is a card collection book for collecting 583 cards. Each pocket in the card collection book will be marked with a different number, and such numbered pockets can only be put into the specified number of cards. Of course, there are also some pockets that don't have numbers marked on them. Any card can be put there. Those are called free pockets. The designated pockets are numbered from 0 to 99, one has 100 cards, and the free pockets only have 45. As long as the player can collect all 100 cards in the designated pockets, it will be considered as a challenge pass. NPC Intelligent Life explained. It's not difficult to collect 100 cards. It's just that the most troublesome thing in this game is the magic of various cards. Lan Fei nodded. Of course, these cards are made from various props. NPC Intelligent Life reminded. I know this. Lan Fei waved his hand, indicating that the NPC Intelligent Life in front of him does not need to explain further. The so-called cardization means that when a prop is touched, the prop will turn into a card, so that it can be put into the card collection book. However, once you want to turn the AFBC card into a prop, you need the magic of gain, and after the card turns back into a prop, you can't turn it into a card again, and if you want to get this card again, you need to find a cardable props. Finally, there are two caveats. The NPC Intelligent Life wanted to continue the presentation, but was soon interrupted by Lan Fei. Okay, that's fine. That's it. Lan Fei doesn't want to delay this NPC Intelligent Life anymore. The rules of the game she said are exactly the same as what she told Gon, Xia, and Kurapika. Okay. The NPC Intelligent Life still responded politely. Clatter. Soon, a ladder appeared in the console, and the ladder extended to the dark passage. Please go down the stairs over there. I wish you a happy time and clear the level as soon as possible. The NPC Intelligent Life reminded for the last time. Thanks. Lan Fei nodded and walked down the stairs slowly. Not long after, Lan Fei reached the end of the stairs, and what appeared in front of him was an endless grassland, which was exactly like the real world, with blue sky and white clouds, just the right breeze, and mountains in the distance, as well as standing thatched huts. Just as Lan Fei looked around curiously, several newcomers came out from the stairs behind him. Although different memory cards are used, the starting point is the same. Wow, what an amazing game. Here is exactly the same as the real world. Boundless prairie. The breeze is just right and the air is so fresh. Behind Lan Fei, there was a sound of exclamation. Almost all of these players came in together. After all, for ordinary people, it is still very difficult for one person to collect all the cards. Forget it, I just entered the game world, let's take a walk first. However, these 4 weeks have been monitored. Perhaps, this is the treatment for newcomers. Lan Fei shrugged. Boom. Suddenly, at this moment, a ray of golden light fell from the sky, like a meteorite falling, directly smashing the grass into a deep hole, and in the deep hole, a burly man with curly purple hair appeared. Little devil, is this your first time playing this game? The purple curly-haired man smiled. Bullying newcomers. Lan Fei folded his arms around his chest, staring at the purple curly-haired man calmly. Well, that's right. The purple curly-haired man grinned, and saw a peeping card appeared in his hand, and then put it on his card reader. Soon, a line of words was displayed on the card reader. To use the peeping spell, please select the target player. After a simple operation, the information about Lan Fei was displayed on the card reader of the man with purple curly hair. Lan Fei, 13. Free pocket doesn't have any cards. After the peeping card disappeared, the purple curly-haired man raised his head and stared at Lan Fei with a half-smile. And then, Lan Fei said lightly, it seems that you are not at all curious about the means I use. As a novice, there are really not many people with your mentality. The man with purple curly hair was a little surprised. He couldn't see the slightest tension and shock in Lan Fei's eyes. You know, I used the peeping card to find out Lan Fei's identity information and the number of cards. Any newcomer would feel uneasy, right? Lan Fei is fine, like a normal person. When did rookie players have such a mentality? In fact, if Lan Fei hadn't known about the existence of the spell card, he might have been startled by the sudden trick of the man with purple curly hair. HMPH, so what if you're in a good mood? There is not a single card in the free pocket, which means that this kid is a newcomer. Since you are a newcomer, this tracking card is enough. The man with purple curly hair squeezed his chin, quickly made a decision, and shouted, use tracking, attack Lan Fei. In an instant, as soon as the man with purple curly hair finished speaking, the tracking card in his hand directly turned into a golden light with the direction of the arrow, shooting towards Lan Fei. Chapter 100 Shalnark, Shizuku, and Cube enter the game, offering a reward for the city of Anduokiba open black lens bracket subscription close black lens bracket. Seeing the golden light bursting with arrows, Lan Fei did not dodge, but stood on the spot with his arms folded, his face still as calm as water. Because, in this game, as long as someone uses a spell card, it cannot be avoided no matter what. This is the rule of the game, the spell in the game. Boom. In an instant, golden light shot into Lan Fei's body, and was directly marked by the tracking card. You brat, why don't you hide? Seeing Lan Fei's unreasonable play, the man with purple curly hair couldn't help but startled. Is this kid in front of me really a newcomer? Why do you react differently from other newcomers? Although all the spell cards in the game are harmless to people, as a newcomer, won't you be afraid when you see being attacked by golden light? Why should I hide? Since it's a rule in the game, no one can hide from it. Lan Fei shrugged, then grinned, plant a tracking card on me. I have to say, you are really brave. In an instant, Lan Fei's figure turned into a golden light and disappeared in place. In the next second, Lan Fei kicked at the speed of light and landed on the purple curly-haired man. Boom. In an instant, the purple curly-haired man's face changed drastically. He didn't have time to think about it too much, so he could only clench his fists in front of him, keeping the energy in his body in a state of entanglement, but even so, the power of this kick made him fly backwards out, hitting the grass in the distance. Gotcha. A heart-piercing pain came directly from the arm, and the purple curly-haired man knew that his arm had been twisted and deformed, and his bones should also be broken. This brat, really only 13. The purple curly-haired man was horrified, his arm was crippled with just one kick, and if he kicked a few more times, wouldn't he want a game over? I don't care about bullying other rookies, but if you bully me, that's your bad luck. Not only is a tracking card wasted, but it may also make you game over. Lan Fei's eyes were extremely cold, and he just stared at the purple curly-haired man. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. In an instant, Lan Fei released his training, and a terrifying murderous aura burst out, enveloping the man with purple curly hair. This brat is scary. The man with purple curly hair swallowed his saliva, the terrifying murderous aura made him tremble all over, without the slightest resistance. It seems that this time it hit the iron. The strength of this brat is even more terrifying than those old players. Use rewind, to Martha Dora. The purple curly-haired man hastily pulled out a spell card. Exclamation mark comma comma comma. In an instant, his figure turned into a golden light with an arrow, and disappeared towards the sky. But, council, seeing this, Lan Fei couldn't help but snorted coldly. At the same time, to the east of Yukkexon City. Go Desert. Since Chrollo was banned from Nen by Kurapika, the remaining Phantom Troupe members all retreated to the deepest part of the Gourd Desert. Here, it also became the temporary base of Phantom Troupe. According to the content of the prophecy poem, Chrollo can only find new members if he goes all the way east, and the group hopes to find the exorcist. At night, in dim candlelight, the temporary base was filled with many flowers, and many white candles, all to commemorate those dead companions. Shizuku, Cube, do you want to play together in the game? Perhaps, it's not guaranteed that we can meet the Nyen Master in the game, and then we can ask him to help get rid of the Nyen left in the leader's heart by the Red Eye. Shalnark sat in front of the game console on Greed Island, studied it carefully, then turned to look at Shizuku and Cube behind him. The Greedy Island game console auctioned at the underground auction in HxH City is not the only one that Lan Fei took from Chrollo. At the beginning, among the auction items copied and stolen by Cube, there were enough Greedy Island game consoles, there were as many as 10, and Shalnark secretly kept one for himself at that time. Because, Shalnark is a teenager with a hunter license, so he is naturally interested in this island of greed. Into the game, Cube frowned. Anyway, everyone's goal now is to help the leader find the Nemesis teacher. Perhaps, there may be clues to find the exorcist in this game. After all, there are not a few Nen masters who have ideas for this game. 0. Asking for flowers. Shalnark nodded. Island of Greed. That's good. We can break through the game and find clues for the head of the division at the same time. Shizuku adjusted his glasses frame. All right, the three of us go in together. After hesitating for a moment, Kyubi still agreed. In Greed Island game, after forcing the purple curly-haired man back, Lan Fei walked towards the Bounty City Ando Kiba in his memory. Here, hundreds of people were packed. A lot of reward lists. The Bounty City Ando Kiba is one of them. Lan Fei rubbed his stomach, looked up and glanced at the banner with the words, "Welcome to the Bounty City Ando Kiba," hanging in front of him, and then walked into this lively town. Lan Fei smacked his lips, he walked through the busy street, walked towards the place with the most traffic, and quickly squeezed into the place where the reward list was posted. After walking for about half an hour, Lan Fei finally arrived at Amdo Sending. Find a place to eat first, even in the game, but still feel hungry. Lan Fei's eyes lit up. Finger guessing, that's what I'm best at. Hey, this is the schedule for the Ando Kiba calendar competition. Moreover, Lan Fei also has a little understanding of the usefulness of the Sword of Truth. As a time traveler, Lan Fei used to be the little prince of nightclubs. He almost never lost to those bar girls in boxing games. He was definitely the overlord of boxing games. This is a prop that can cut off fake things with one knife. It is generally used in referees, which makes criminals nervous and afraid. When the real thing is cut, the blade will shatter, but put it back into the scabbard, and the knife will return to its original shape in a day. Although he is not very familiar with the plot of Greed Island, he still vaguely remembers several important city strongholds. Tisk tisk, this place is as lively as any town in the real world. Lan Fei took a closer look, and found that the reward lists were like advertisements, and the names in the reward lists were mostly vicious people. Lan Fei was not interested in these reward lists, he quickly noticed the bulletin board on the other side. This month turned out to be a boxing contest, and the outstanding prize is the Sword of Truth.